All right, let's see. I think we're live now.
All
What's going
right,
on,
yeah.
everyone? I appreciate all three, or actually all two of y'all showing up today. Mark Rose, Lucky Butter. What's going on, everyone? Uh, I feel weird. Like if
Brother.
I introduce you right now when there's only three people watching, when the fourth
Yeah,
person comes on, they're gonna be like, "Who's that guy?" I'm like,
yeah.
"Just read
Who's
the
that
story." Yeah,
guy?
I'm let me put it right here on the banner. I'm gonna put no introductions. Read the name.
There you go.
Let's see. Read the
Hopefully,
names. There we go.
everyone is literate.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I could be capping off a good portion of my viewership right there. Let's see who we
Nah,
got. Mr. Jones.
I'm sure everyone is literate that tunes in to you.
Mr. Jones says, man, that ain't Raquel. He wants me to bring on Raquel on here. You
Oh
know her,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
because I
Hey,
mentioned one time.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, sir. I am not Raquel. I do not look as good on camera as she does.
Oh
I feel
man.
your pain.
I told Mr. Jones lives out in the Houston area. I told him Raquel lives out there. I was like, you gotta go to a car show. You'll see her. You'll find her.
Oh yeah,
Let's see.
yeah.
We got Obi-Wan Chingones. What's going on, man? Happy early Memorial Day to everyone. I don't got to go into work tomorrow, so it's a little bit stronger than my usual.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. People are like, Sonny, why you use a little straw? I'm like, I look feel fancy doing that. I don't care what y'all say.
Yeah. You know, you got some
I
class.
know, yeah. See, I'm like, even when I was out there shooting photos for y'all and stuff. Oh, by the way, everyone, Casino here to my left. Yeah, that's my left. He's a rapper right out of here from Austin, Texas. That's why he has the ATX on his name right there. But
Yes, sir.
that's how we met. I was shooting photos for rap people. Casino came up. He was like, "Hey, let me get a hot 16." I was like, "Do I do photos?" No, I'm just kidding. Man, dude, the amount of people that ask me to do a hot 16 for them is just insane. Y'all know I do photos, right? That's why y'all see me everywhere. Like I don't rap. They're like, "Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Can I get 8?" I'm like, no. Like,
I honestly think it's because online you always talk about how you're gonna drop an 8 or a 16. So I think people be like, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this verse for quite a while now.
hey, you know what's funny, man? The Rock dropped an 8 before I did, so I was like,
Yo,
"Oh, dang, he do
on that song,
that Tech Nine."
yeah, I was like, what? Cause
Yeah.
I remember Rock's song with Wyclef, and I was like,
I don't think I caught
no,
that
Rock,
one, man. I
no.
don't think I caught that.
Oh, you don't remember that? Oh man,
No.
he literally had a song called "It Doesn't Matter" with Wyclef. Like
Oh,
just YouTube search it one day. I'm sorry when you watch it. I'm sorry that I put this in your brain, but
is it like
horrible.
is it like John Cena level rapping?
Nah, it's worse than that. It's worse
Oh
than that.
man. Wait,
Now I
is
will
it?
say,
Go ahead.
well, so for the most part, he just does the hook. He just does the hook with
Okay.
Wyclef. I think he may have had like something real quick in there, but even that was just like it's real cheesy. It's real cheesy.
You know what I
So
thought was real cheesy? Roy Jones Jr. Y'all must have forgot.
oh man. Okay. I have a I have a real funny Roy Jones Jr. Story. So you know Smack, right?
Yeah, I
Smack
met Roy
Miller.
Jones because of Smack. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So he used to be signed to Roy Jones's label.
Yeah, what is it,
So
Body Headbangers?
yeah, Bodyhead Records. Yeah, this is like oh my
There you go. There
god,
you go.
it was long time ago, long time ago. So um me a chick I used to rap with named Ebony Lotus, a couple of us, um, we were like our session was supposed to start up when they were done. So when we got there, they were still there. Now I knew Smack, but this is my first time ever meeting Roy Jones Jr. So of course, I'm like, man, this is Roy Jones Jr. I'm like in awe because I'm a boxing fan. So they're supposed to be finishing up, and he was just in there like really upset about like really minor things. and we got to hear the song before it came out. And I mean, we, you know how bad that song was. So we're in there like trying to hold our laughs in and trying not to be like, "Oh my God, it's terrible," because it's Roy Jones Jr. You know, you gonna laugh at this
Yeah,
man's music in his face? Oh man, yeah.
yeah,
So we
man.
heard it before it came out, and it was just like, oh man, y'all must have forgot. It was man. Oh yeah, so bad. But that was
Yeah,
so cool to meet him though.
yeah. It was cool too. Like we went down there and like I'm there. I take my little photo with him. Like, what's up, man? Like, wow, what? And I walk away and I forgot who it was, man. Someone came up and they're like, "Yeah, man." They're like, "I've been a fan ever since you started rapping." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that
Hey,
that's your taste in music right there." Like, God,
right?
I was like, "Oh
Oh
man."
man,
All right, let's see who we
super.
got here. Jay Speaks, what's going on? Joe figured it out. What's up? Toying around, what's going on, man? All the way from Canada. Marcus E, what's going on? All right, I had to say my what's up to everyone. We do have Casino with us again. Like I said, rapper right here out of ATX. Actually, you got a lot of stuff going on, right?
Yeah, man.
Like Casino, I guess you jump around just as much as I do with random stuff. Cause they'd be
I
like,
do
"Oh,
a lot.
Sonny, yeah, oh, son, you play with toys. Oh, you're also a porn star. Okay, no, I'm not.
Just on Friday.
Just
No,
no,
yeah. Well, of course, you know, like you said, my primary thing, of course, that I do. Most people know me from my music. Been doing music a long time. Um, uh, you know, not to toot my horn too much, but I probably have one of the biggest songs to ever come out of Austin. That was Game Time that I did back in the mid 2000s. We did a lot of touring off of that and everything, and I've been steadily doing music ever since then. Um, I did stop for a little while, but I got back at it about 2 years ago, and it's been going nice. But I also do my Nerdy McFly show, which is you know, it's kind of a nerd pop culture show mixed in with a lot of hip hop. So we kind of take the nerd in the street, smash them together, street nerd. I'm also a I sell a lot of different things. I sell a lot of different merch. I sell a lot of drinks, so I got my own CBD drink. We also have infused treats and snacks and everything that we push. And so I recently got my own strain. I work with some growers out of Oregon, Funk Extracts and Happy Daddy Growers. So we got our own strain, Cherry Mints. That's right now it's available in Washington State and it's also available in Oregon. So we're working on getting picked up by more distributors. And yeah,
and
man,
also
you
your
know,
backyard, right?
yes, sir. Yeah, but you know, that's
I
only for
mean,
people I know very well.
yeah,
But yeah, man, I try to keep my hands in a lot of different pots. That's really the no pun intended. That's definitely the best way to stay productive. Trying to be a musician, you know, it's really more so about having a brand and having multiple products to push. So yeah, we do a lot.
yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, and like the Nerdy McFly thing, that kind of came out of left field for me. I know you
Okay,
probably been into all that, like, but because I mean you're in Austin, obviously. I'm in Austin with you.
right.
Um, you know how it goes, man. In Austin, it's like you can't add gangster hardcore and still like what you actually want to like. Like that's
Right.
it was always kind of like a weird thing. Like people are like, oh, I do what I want
Yeah,
as long as y'all
but then
think
they
it's
really do.
cool. It's like as long as y'all think it's
Right.
cool, I'm gonna do what I want. But yeah,
Yeah.
so when you drop that Nerdy McFly, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man, because you know you're established here in Austin and stuff, and you're like, you know what, screw it, put all that to the side. Let's go ahead and do this little voiceover. What is it, mosquito? No, it's a
Yeah.
fly. Duh. I was like,
Yeah.
what is mosquito?
Yeah.
No, it's a fly. Uh, but yeah, and then so you kind of mix that like the video game pop culture and stuff like that into it. And question: are you ever gonna separate the two? Or are you gonna keep it always on your
Um.
Casino ATX channel?
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to separate it. Right now, the reason why I have it linked to my main music page is because, well, you know, that's where most of my traffic comes in right now. So, but we did purchase the domain name. I've already purchased the YouTube. Well, not purchased it, but you know, set up the YouTube name.
Yeah.
So we got it all set up. Me and my partner Doc. So we're going to actually next month we're going to launch it all as its own channel and really start pumping a lot of ads behind that and just doing that separate. So that way, it can have its own identity outside of casino. Because
Yeah.
hey, I may not be rapping forever.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it because I mean that's like why I have this channel, the Sonny channel versus my Sonny from the O2 channel, which has all the comedy stuff, like most of the comedy stuff I did.
Yeah,
Um, Totine was actually the one that told me like years ago. He was like, man, you need to separate your stuff. Like you have comedy and then you have like photography where you got all these chicks. And it's like people gonna get uncomfortable. And I was like,
yeah,
nah, they won't. He was exactly right. like
yeah,
I have people that at comedy shows and be like, where do I follow you? And I'm like, that's Unreal too. And then they go follow him and they're like,
yeah. Like, oh well,
I
what's
don't
this?
want to do
Is
that.
this the right
And I'm like,
page?
damn, there go.
Nah,
Yeah,
Tosin.
exactly. Yeah, that was the thing. They're like, oh,
Now, Tosin's super smart, man. He's always been really good
yeah,
with the marketing and strategies and all of that. And kind of to go back to something you said a minute ago, I think the reason, and because you're not the first person to tell me like that, the Nerdy McFly came out of left field. Um, like for people that know me, that
hold on,
actually,
hold on.
yeah,
This is my live stream. I was the first one to tell you. Okay, all right, I was first.
yeah,
I told you that.
you,
No,
yeah, you the first. But outside of you, a few people were like, "Man, I wouldn't have expected that." And I think definitely like my first 5 to 8 years doing music, when you're young, you really I think all rappers in particular try to really show up how tough they are, and because we were from the hoods of Austin, it's like, well, I'm gonna showcase more of this side of myself. But I've always kind of been a nerd, and I think we've just learned to embrace it more. Now it's like, you can be a nerd and also from the streets or from the hood or wherever. We've always had street nerds, in my opinion. Just it wasn't really talked about. It's kind of something more on the quiet or on the low, or maybe you just did at the house with your homies or whatnot. But always been a long
yeah,
time comic book reader. Comic books, cartoons, anime, all of that, video games, are heavy into all of that from an early age. So it was just something we didn't really talk about in the music. So when I came back, it was like, you know what? I'm gonna let everybody else have all that hardcore stuff. And let everybody else do the thugs and the gangsters and all of that. You know, I'd rather talk about what I'd like to do on a daily basis, right? I don't like to be into it with
yeah.
people. I don't like to be out here beefing with folks and all of that. That's nobody. I don't think your average person really wants that. So I'd rather talk about the things that bring enjoyment or fun to my life. So I was like, well, I'm really knowledgeable in this, so let me do this on the side too. So that's how that kind of came about.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. And we actually got a question here in the chat here. Toy Malarkey says, "Hey, what's up, everyone?" That's the question. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, what's up, Toy Malarkey and Savage Saint? We got Marcus Yee right here. Says, "Who were some of your favorite MCs and who inspired you to get into music?" And it's okay if you say me, even though it's my show. They're gonna
Yeah,
think it's biased, but you can say me.
no, but of course, the Sonny who I'm still waiting on that 16 bars from. But yeah, totally inspired me. Nah, let's see. Like, okay, so my early, like some of my first inspirations where I was, before I even wrote my first verse, I gotta say like Ice Cube. He was a huge influence on me. I loved Ice Cube's music when I was a kid. Um, when I moved around a lot, so when I lived in California, I really got into the Bay Area sound. So E40 was a big influence on me. Um, when I came back to Texas, of course, UGK, A Ball, and MJG, huge influences. From there, of course, I'm a huge Andre 3000 fan. He was a big influence. Um, I think everybody kind of says Biggie and Tupac, so I try to name people outside of that. But if I had to choose between one of those two, I would say Tupac was the larger influence on me. Jay Z, big influence. Um, Eminem, what I really liked about Eminem was the fact that he talked about every aspect of his life, and you really learned about who he was listening to his music. And so that was something that I really took away from him. I'm a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. Um, I'm really into J. Cole. So I'd say like those are my big influences. Good
Cool,
question.
cool. Yeah, good question, Marcus G. Yeah, if y'all got questions for him, go ahead and ask. I'll read them. He doesn't have to answer them. He had the biggest hit coming out of Austin. He don't have to say nothing to y'all. He doesn't owe y'all anything. Now, uh, dude, I did that one time. What was I doing? Like a stand-up show or whatever. After I got off stage, someone was like, "Can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Sure," but I'm really good at stand-up, so I'm probably not gonna answer. And they were like, they were confused. They're like, "I don't even know if he's for real."
Like
Like,
I don't know to laugh. Is he being
yeah, like,
serious? Is he joking?
that's still a
Yeah.
joke because there's not a microphone in his hand. But no, but yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Now you didn't name any of my favorite rappers, which I was kind of offended. I almost
Who's
killed the
yours?
stream right then and there. Royce 5'9" and Tech 9.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So if you put CasinoATX, you'll fit in line with my theme of having the number 9 in your name. So
Ah. Okay.
nah, but someone pointed out to me, they're like, "Oh, do you gotta have a number 9 in your name just to be cool?" I'm like, maybe. I don't know. But then that
Oh.
6'9" came out and I'm like, nope, never mind.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Nah. He kind of. Yeah. He killed that one for you, huh?
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
was like, no, no.
I do like Royce the 5'9" a lot. The only reason, and this is just me personally, because everybody that I named are people who have at least two albums that I can listen to nonstop, right? I just have not ran across that album from him yet. Where
Okay. Album, I was like, do you include mixtapes in that?
sure, you can
Because Trust,
absolutely.
eh, have you heard Trust the Shooter?
No,
That's a good
I
one.
need to listen
That's
to
a good
that,
one right there. That's a good one. Trust the Shooter's a good one. Trust the Shooter's
okay,
so good, I actually thought that was an album when it came out.
dude.
But
There was definitely a run where people were putting out mixtapes that were album quality. Like I know Lil Wayne's definitely got a couple, like the Drought
No
series.
Ceilings.
Some, yeah. Oh man. There's several other people, so I will go back and listen to that. And you might make me have to add Royce into my top favorite MCs.
And if we don't, I'm gonna just badmouth you the whole time. No, yeah, but that Trust the Shooter, that is a good like Trust the Shooter came out right before, man, which one did come out before? Maybe Book of Ryan? And I
Okay.
actually still listen to Trust the Shooter more often than I listen to Book of Ryan. And
Okay.
everybody's like, Book of Ryan is like right there. It's like one of the top. And I was like, man, I still like Trust the Shooter. Like to me, it was like mixtape Royce mixed with
Yeah.
album Royce because he got two different sounds.
Okay.
That's kind of what you want to go like his mixtape Royce is more like punchlines
Yeah.
versus album Royce is more like, oh, this is from my heart. I worked on this. I'm like, I want
Yeah.
the
A lot
stuff
of
you didn't work on
introspective
so
stuff.
hard. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was pretty good though.
And
Let's
that is
see.
a tough balance to find. Being able to, you want to have fun records, but then you want to have records that make present more of yourself to your fans and your listeners. So that's a hard tightrope walk.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny too because it's like I'm a fan of his, but like I could easily see someone saying, listen to his mixtapes and jump into an album and just not liking them from there. Like I could
Yeah.
see that happening because it's such a big contrast.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Toying around says J. Cole is playing basketball in Canada now.
I saw that.
Yeah. He's gonna go dominate the Canadian Basketball League. Mr. Jones says J. Cole, that's what's up. Mark C says, how about Crooked Eye and Joel Ortiz?
um, out of the two, I think oh man, that's tough. I like Joel Ortiz a little bit more, but I do like both of them. Um, I did like that the Slaughterhouse album, that
Yeah.
first one that we got to hear. I did like that. Heck, I even think Joe Budden got bars when he wants to rap. I think
Yeah.
sometimes he
Yeah.
gets a
Yeah.
little lazy, but when he
And like
wants to do it,
well, of course, out of Slaughterhouse, the reason I listen to Slaughterhouse because Royce 5'9", of course.
yeah,
Um, because I'm a fanboy. Like I think I mentioned it on here one time. I saw Slaughterhouse live, and I threw my hand out, be like, "Oh, let me get some dap from Royce." He dapped my hand, and I felt like one of those girls. I was like, "Ah!" I said, let me put this carefully in my pocket real quick. Royce the 5'9" just like gave me dap. No, but of the group, like I thought Royce 5'9", of course, was my favorite.
Yeah.
Joe Budden, I thought was a probably second. Crooked, I think, had better punchlines, but Joel Ortiz kind of had a better flow to it.
Yes. His man,
And so
Joel
that's what
Ortiz,
my yeah,
a very one of a kind flow. It's very distinct. Like
yeah,
when you hear, you know that's him. Um, Definitely, I like them. They're not in my personal tops, but I do like them. So yeah,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
funny you say. Did you? Let me ask you. Did you meet them at South by?
No, well, no, at South by I didn't meet them. I met them when they played at Come and Take It Live over on Riverside.
Yeah.
The league had opened for them, and they asked me to
Okay.
go shoot photos. And they're like, how much you charge? I said, man, you just sneak me on my camera and I get photos of Slaughterhouse and we're squared. Like I don't even
Yeah,
care.
you
Like
was good.
yeah, so they're like, all right, man, we'll put you on the list. And so I didn't get to meet them though. Like I just gave them that from the crowd and but
Yeah.
I heard everybody came to me afterwards like, hey, did you be Slaughterhouse? I'm like, nah, I was on assignment over there. Like, God dang it.
I think it was it had to be either 2012 or 2013. Um, at South by Southwest, I performed that year, and we performed at the club next to where they were performing. And this is back when I used to smoke cigarettes. I was outside and I was smoking a square, and I can't remember the club that I was that they were performing at.
It was the
Man, I wish I could
Belmont.
remember. Thank
I think it was
you. Yes,
Belmont,
it
right?
was the
Yeah, that was
Belmont.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's how
So
many
I was
people told me about it. It's like burned in my
so
head.
that little spot that used to be right next to the Belmont to the left of it. I was performing
Yeah.
there. And so I came outside, I was smoking a cigarette. And that side door to the Belmont bust open and out comes Royce the 5'9" and Joe Budden. And so, I've been like this for a long time. Like because I'm a rapper, I try not to bother other rappers, you know what I mean? I try not to run all up on them and
Yeah.
be in their face and stuff. So when I saw him come out, I recognized him, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Joe Budden and Royce 5'9". So I kind of just give them the "Hey, what up?" and they give me the "Hey, what up?" And so now we're just standing out there, and so Joe Budden's patting his pockets and shit, and I guess he was looking for a cigarette, so he turns to me and like, "Hey, you got a square I can get?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I give him a cigarette. So now I'm just standing there with them and smoking a cigarette. Me and Joe Budden smoking a cigarette. Kid you not, a Bentley pulls up, like a real Bentley. not the not the
Oh,
not the
not that
Chrysler
Chrysler 3
500.
300.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 300, but a real Bentley. And like two big dudes get out the car. One of them walks to the back, opens up the back seat, and out jumps Kanye West. And Kanye West, they lead him to that door, and it's so funny. And he's walking up to the door. He daps up Joe Budden. He daps up Royce the 5'9", and he turns and looks at me, and I'm standing there with him. And he just kind of looks at me for a second, and then he gives me some dap, and he goes inside the club.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious because he looked at me for a minute like, "Who the hell is this dude?" That's my
But
one and only time I met Joe Budden and Royce, and
man,
just so happens I got to get that from Kanye West.
man, it's funny too, man, because cause I've been on movie sets and TV show sets, right, where you got these big actors walking around. I don't get all like, oh my God, it's them. Actually, man, I'll be real. Half the time I don't even recognize people like in real
Yeah,
life. Like, hey, I don't even know it's them. But Royce by Nine, like I said, gave me dap. I guess because I'm such a big fan, I was just like, oh, this okay, it affected me. I also
yeah,
froze up. I didn't freeze up, but I played. I don't know. I felt dumb after I met Tech Nine. Like me and Gobble, because Gobble was cool with Ritz. You remember Ritz, right?
yeah, yeah.
So he was cool with Ritz. So Ritz was like, "Hey, come, we're over here at this spot for South by Southwest. Come over here." So we go over there, and Tech Nine is right there, and I'm like, "Damn!" I was like, I'm just gonna say what's up to him real quick and be cool with it. And I was like, "All right, cool." So I go to him. I go, "Hey, you Tech Nine, right?" Like he's gonna say no. And he's like, "Yeah, man." I go, "Hey, man." I go, "Sonny, man." I go, and I do like this, give him dap. And I could have just been like, "Hey man, I'm a big fan" or something like that, something real. I was, I don't. It's like I just learned words that day. I gave him that, and I was like, "I like your music," and I just stood there like, I was like, "God dang man, what up?" I was like, now he just thinks I'm a weirdo, just like, oh, like
Man,
it started cool, and then I just said that stupid sentence, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave. Like, I don't even want to meet Rich at this point.
man, dude, don't feel bad. So like I said, I was always a huge Ice Cube fan, and you might even actually remember this, because I think either you were there or you might have ran into me this night. But you remember when Bushwick used to come down here all the time?
Yeah, yeah,
So and once again, this was at a South by Southwest. Now this was probably like 2009. Um, but so I'm hanging out with Bushwick Bill. It was like me, T Flow, Bushwick Bill, whole bunch of other folks, right? And side note, Bushwick Bill was hands down one of the most famous people in the world because he is the most easily recognizable person. Because he's a little person. So everywhere we went, we couldn't walk 3 to 5 steps before somebody was rushing over to get an autograph or trying to get him to come into the club and drink and all of this other stuff. So we were hanging out at this club called 311 that used to be on 6th Street.
oh yeah, yeah,
Remember 311?
yeah.
So Bushwick got a call, and it just so happened to be Ice Cube. And he was like, "Hey, I'm over here at Spiro's." He's like, "Y'all come over and I'll get y'all in, come hang out." So I'm like ecstatic, like, "Whoa, Ice Cube!" Finally get to meet Ice Cube. Now I'd already been drinking a little bit, but I was okay, just a little buzz, nothing major. So Bush was like, "Hey, y'all, come on, let's go down here and go hang with Ice Cube." So we started making our way, and I swear, like I said, every 3 to 5 steps, somebody was stopping him. We kept getting pulled into different bars. People wanted to buy him a shot and buy him a drink. From 311 to Spiro's, it took us almost 30 minutes to get there because that's how much we got stopped. And
Yeah,
along the way, we're taking shots. Oh, come in here, have a shot with us, and people are literally offering to give Bushwick like some money to come in and sign some autographs real quick and different stuff. And Bushwick was a hustler; he was all about that money. So he was like, "Okay, you're gonna give me some money." So
yeah.
took us about 30 minutes to get to Spiro's. By the time we get to Spiro's, I'm no longer tipsy. I'm feeling pretty good. Get into the club, run into some of my old homies, and they like, "Oh, here, oh, we already got rounds of drinks, so I get some more drinks." Dude, I'm like, out of there. So by the time I get up there to meet Ice Cube, I don't even remember meeting him. I had blackout drunk. All I know is I didn't
Yeah.
leave a good impression. Don't even remember meeting one of my idols. Oh God.
Man.
Yeah. So you didn't do too bad. You all
Okay,
right.
all right. At least I remember my
Yeah,
awkward.
you remember it. You remember it.
Yeah.
I have no
No,
idea
but
what I said to Ice Cube.
no, hey, so I did notice like because you're saying that nowadays your rap music you include all the stuff that you like and stuff like I think on the Supercino
Yeah.
album you and Super both were uh, saying I guess nerdy things is what it would be considered,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then would you ever make like a purely themed like nerdy album?
Um.
If Nerdy McFly got a good enough fan base, would you ever go that route?
If the fan base was there, yes. um. If the fan base was there, yes. I think the challenge to that would be is how do you do that and it not come off as overly corny or
Mm,
um like overly gimmicky. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I hear a lot of nerdcore music, and one or two songs is cool, but to listen to a whole album of it, it's kind of like, well, you start to kind of stretch a little bit with your
I guess the
topics and what you can talk
oh,
about.
okay, it's like the novelty kind of wears off.
Yeah, yeah,
Actually, I could see that because like I heard a Wiz Khalifa album one time, and I'm like, dude, can you talk about something other than smoking weed? Like, is that the only topic right there? And like even some of the like when Lil Flip was trying to come back out, I'm like,
yeah,
dude, like change up the topic a little bit. Like, come on, man. Like,
exactly. And what's interesting? So I was challenged to do an all weed album because I have a lot of weed songs.
yeah,
But what I made sure to do, and I have one that's going to come out next year. It's called the Kush Doctor. Um, and every song has something to do with weed. But what I made sure to do was I thought, okay, well, besides smoking weed, what do I do with weed? Like, what do I use it for? So I wrote a song about sex with weed. I wrote a song about being depressed and how smoking weed helps you with depression. One of probably the deepest song on that album, and maybe the deepest song I ever wrote. I wrote a song about when my son passed away and how I just kind of went into a real dark depression. And I think all I did was go to work, come home, and smoke until I passed out, and then I had to get up and do it again. So I made sure to touch every topic with that weed had something to do with my life. So if I were to do an all nerdy album, it would have to be something like that. I would have to find a way where I could incorporate, all of the nerdy stuff into an actual piece or portion of my life and talk about how it affected that or how I used it with that or something along those lines.
yeah. See, like that makes sense though, because it's like that's a common theme. It's just not like the whole album just about you smoking because whatever. Like that's why I feel like the Wiz Khalifa, like even like I said, Lil Flip, because I was a big Lil Flip fan all for a long time. And even when he fell off, people were like, "Oh, Lil Flip sucks," and I was like, "Lil Flip is just he's there." Like I was like trying to give him benefit of the doubt,
Yeah,
but then he dropped a new album, and I paid money for it, and I was like, man, I was like, this is just like I need something else, man. Like you know,
yeah,
but that yours makes a little bit more sense though, because like I said, you're using the different stages of your life basically. So
right. Now
that'll
the
be
the
cool.
album I'm getting ready to drop
I
is
can't wait to bootleg it from Kazaa later.
I'll tell you what, I'll send you an early copy. You ain't got to bootleg it. I'll send it to you early.
There you go.
But now the album I'm getting ready to drop is called The Street Nerd, and that's probably the so far the closest I've come to just diving all into the nerd stuff. But it's more of a story of me coming up, So growing up in Houston and growing up in Austin, in the hood, but being real smart and being into like nerdy stuff. And so, you kind of combine those two. And what I've found is there's a lot of people that have grown up in the hoods or barrios or whatnot that have had our type of life experiences. You might have been fighting and carrying on,
Yeah.
but you go home and you reading comic books or watching anime. So it kind of dives into that.
Yeah, it was like it's like when I started doing the toy thing, because like I didn't read a bunch of comics when I was little because we are poor. I was like we couldn't afford to buy comic books, and so like I didn't read a whole lot. And like as I do different things, whatever, people message me on Instagram. They're like, oh, you know what, man? They're like, I grew up poor too. I just never wanted to say it or admit it. I'm like,
Right.
I'll admit it. Like I was like, I even brought my parents on here. I'm like, what could y'all have done to make my life better? Nah, I didn't call them out like that. But yeah, I
Okay,
mean
you a
it's
brave man.
yeah, right. Also, I'll be the first toy reviewer to get slapped in the face with a chancla on live stream.
Hey, at
No,
least
but
it might have went
I mean, it was
viral
cool.
though.
Yeah, it's true. Dang it. Oh. Next time I need to push a few buttons there. No, but yeah, I mean, it's cool to like to know now, like, okay, there wasn't, those people just like me that had the same kind of similar experiences, and now they're, come together because of the internet, basically.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Mr. Jones here has a comment here. Speaking of nerd
Okay.
rappers, you listen to Mega Ran? He was the first I ever heard of doing that stuff.
So
I've
I
never heard of
have,
Mega Ran.
yeah, I've heard of him. And what's funny is somebody else was the one that turned me on to him. And in all fairness, this was recent, like maybe 3 years ago or so. So I can't say that I was listening to
Hmm.
him from when he first came out, and I can't even say I've listened to a whole album. I've heard a couple of tracks here and there, and I've also seen some videos that he's got on YouTube. So I have heard of him. I can't say I've listened to a whole lot, but what I did like about what he does, he definitely embraces that whole nerdcore thing, and he does a good job of his bars. They didn't come across as real gimmicky. They more came across as, this is just no different than somebody just rapping about some street stuff or whatever. Just he was talking about what he was into, and I liked his bars. I liked his flow, and it didn't come across as forced. So that's what I liked about it.
I'm gonna have to check him out. Well, Pharoah Monch is probably the biggest rapper
Oh,
that's also a huge toy collector.
okay.
Like
I do like Pharoah
he,
Monch a lot.
I mean, he has a ton of action figures. Like, and he did a live stream with this dude named the channel's name is Unparalleled Universe. He's done a few streams with him and stuff like that. But if you go to his Twitter, man, he's constantly posting pictures of his action figures.
Oh, nice.
He takes
Okay.
them with him to like on tour and stuff like that. Yeah,
Mm,
man. I was like, that's pretty cool. That he's just like, all right, screw it. This is what I do. This is what I have. So,
okay. So
but
he's
yeah, I
he's
mean,
a
it's
big
it's
he's
kind
a
it's
big
cool
toy
though that he
collector.
does that. Uh, yeah. Got Scarlet Kid one says, "Sup, Girth Gang." Oh, by the way, my followers here they call it the Girth Gang.
All
So,
right. Good game.
Girth Gang and the Hizzy. Mr. Jones says Mega Ran started back. Mr. Jones is like an Encyclopedia Britannica. He has a lot of
Nice.
knowledge about stuff. Says Mega Ran started back in 2006, and most of us gamer nerds know him because he spit bars over remixed video game music. Oh, that's cool. If I recall, he doesn't curse. I think he's also a teacher. Oh, he doesn't curse as a teacher, just like Babu.
Yeah. So Mr. Jones, didn't he have one over the Mega Man intro beat? I want to say the first one I heard from that my friend played for me was him rapping over that. Was it? Am I correct on that?
Man, well, Magno, aka Magnificent,
Man, that's the
Spark
homie. Yeah,
Dog, and Joker Man. Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, that's right. Um, him and Spark Dog and Joker Man, they did that song over the Sonic the Hedgehog beat.
I
That
remember
song
that.
was dope, man. Love that song. I still listen to that song to this day. Like that song's a dope song.
Oh yeah. Now
But
that's somebody who else I would consider a street nerd. He may not consider himself that, but Magno, he peppers in like so many like video game references, comic book references, like
yeah,
a lot of stuff that I think that's what has given him such a large amount of stay power, because he can put stuff in his bars um, that all kinds of listeners will be able to grab. Oh, okay, I see you said what he say. Yeah, that's why he calls him. Okay, yep, yep,
yeah. He
yep.
said, yeah. Dang, he's doing stuff officially for Capcom. That's
Hey,
dope right there.
that is dope. That's very
Yeah,
nice. Well, Mr. Jones, I'll make sure I go check out some more of Mega Ran, because, like I said, I've just heard a few things here and there, and there's a handful of other, I guess what people would consider nerdcore rappers that I've heard.
I need to look
Um,
that up. I need to look up nerdcore stuff
yeah, no,
because, like, I mean, I've heard
there's
like horrorcore, but you know.
right,
So instead
which
of
is
3-6 Mafia, they got the 616 Mafia.
if they don't have that, somebody needs to do it.
I'm gonna do that. Me and you, 616
All
Mafia.
right, let's make it happen. Maybe we can pull
That
Magno
hot
in.
16. There you go, pull Magno, aka Magnificent. Nah, but yeah, man. I mean, I like that kind of stuff too. It's like if they throw in that stuff. It might be kind of obscure to like the normal, just the regular listener or whatever. And it's just
Right.
like, oh, I got that. Like, I understood that reference. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But now that's the man. That's real talk. That's the beauty of doing music in this day and age. You kind of touched on it earlier when you said, with the internet being as entrenched and ubiquitous into so many different people's lives now. There's a whatever you're into, you could probably find 50 to 60,000 people that are into it too. So you can really have
Yeah,
all these niche
like
markets.
feet videos.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's
Hey, you heard
people love
about
it.
that one chick? What did you heard about that one chick that was like farting in jars for like 50K?
Yeah, like what? Nah, it's nothing I would be doing, but hey, if somebody like it,
Hey, if I could
there's
sell farts in a jar for $10, I'd do it.
hey, there's a
They'd be like,
buyer for everything out there. There's a market for it. So hey, just keep searching, Sonny. I'm sure you gonna find somebody that wants to buy your part.
my wife's gonna be in the garage. When are you gonna start selling these jars? I'm about to have a fire sale, honey. Just give me a moment.
I'm stocking up, babe. I'm stocking up.
Mr. Jones says, I know sometimes Lupe has some nerd references in his tracks.
Yeah,
First time I heard him say, "My mind moving faster than the hog in the hedges," I was a fan. Oh, Mr. Jones is a
yeah.
huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan.
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha,
Oh,
gotcha.
look.
No, yeah, Lupe is
Also says,
definitely the farting chick had to stop
so
because
yeah,
she got sick. Really? Good
open up
lord.
the
Well,
market for
oh,
you, baby.
well, like from eating too much stuff that made her
Man.
fart.
So what I'm gonna hit her up and be like, "Do you need me to fart in the jars, and we'll split it 30-70 off the top? Use your face for my rectum, like we're good."
Oh lord. Oh man. Hey, I mean it's no different than remember a few years ago. What was it? Was it Gwyneth Paltrow that put out a candle that smelled like her hoo ha?
No, that yeah, she did that, and then Erica Badu has an
That's
incense.
right. Yeah, Erica Badu did it too.
Yeah,
Man,
she got
there's
an
a
incense.
there's a market for everything out there.
Yeah. So I know you bought a few. What do they smell like? Can you imagine though? Like you have that going on for your house. Someone calls up, what's that smell? West vagina.
No, no, man. My gal would not want me having no woman's hoo ha smell in my in my house whatsoever. Like, what is this?
Oh yeah, there you go. Mr. Jones says Gwen is goop. Man, her
Gwyneth.
first of all, that sounds disgusting. No,
Ah,
but yeah, she has them eggs. They're supposed to enhance your internal muscles for the women. For the women, I don't know. Yeah, but she's like, yeah, take this egg and just shove it up there and start doing some kegels. I'm like,
wow.
nah. Well, it's a
God
rock.
bless.
It's a rock. It's shaped like an egg.
Well, hey, I guess get it how you can, right?
See, Marcus E says, I remember listening to Murphy Lee twice when I was younger and thought the Dragon Ball Z references confused out of me. I don't know. I have the Murphy Lee album, Murphy's Law,
Yeah,
and
Murphy's
I,
Law.
I think the only song I ever really listened to was Shake Your Tail Feather and What the Hook Gonna Be. Like, I don't even think I can't even name the other songs that were on the album.
No, you better than me. I don't think I ever listened to that album. I just heard the two singles. What the
I was
hook
like,
gonna
oh,
be
yeah.
and
And
the Shake Your Tail Feather.
yeah, and Shake Your Tail Feather, he kind of just stole it off the Bad Boy soundtrack.
Well, yeah, it wasn't. I think it was on that Bad Boys
Yeah,
2
it was on there
soundtrack,
first.
and then he ended up putting it on his album.
Yeah, because then he even has Diddy going Bad Boys 2 soundtrack. It's like, really? Like, y'all couldn't hit that part for
Yeah,
your
we
album?
couldn't cut that out. I guess that was put the album over budget.
They're like, look, man, we already had trouble. You don't have a hook on this song. We got to leave that in.
Right now, it's got to stay in there. Diddy brings in the money, baby.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Jones says Goop is what the candle was called.
Wow.
Gwyneth Goop. Let's see. The fart chick was having a heart attack because of her diet she was on to make her fart smell so bad, so she had to be rushed to the hospital. God, I don't mean to
Whoa.
laugh, but man,
I,
that's wild.
wow. Well, I hope she made it, pulled through.
Yeah, hopefully, because I'm gonna sign a deal with her.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely. Savage saying Wu Tang has been referencing Marvel since they jumped off. Now, you're absolutely right.
they all go
Um,
by Marvel names too.
yeah, yeah. Tony Stark was
Yeah,
Ghostface Killer, right?
Johnny
Yeah.
Blaze was the Method Man.
Yep.
Oh, you
Yep.
ever seen Method Man in the Bishop cosplay?
No.
Dude, he needs to be Bishop. I don't care. Like he needs to. They just need to bring Bishop somehow in. Let Method Man play him. It looked dope,
Nice.
man.
Man, I hated the way they did Bishop in that movie. Man, well, I
Uh,
mean,
Days
I'd
of
say
Future
like
Past.
half the X-Men movies were garbage. Half of them were bad, but yeah, that one in particular really bothered me because like you saw how they killed him, right? So the mutant they could absorb energy and redirect it. It just it's destroyed from absorbing energy. Like what? Totally disappointed. But yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Wu Tang was one of the early rap groups to really start like overtly pushing a lot of comic book and Marvel stuff into their music.
Yeah, because they all had that. Yeah, and then Mr. Jones says I remember seeing Wu Tang ads in Marvel Comics.
Hmm.
I think I have one comic that has a Marvel Wu Tang ad in it. Mark C says, "Have y'all seen the memes of Jermaine Dupri looking like hash slinging slasher?" I have not seen.
I haven't seen that, but
Now I have to look that up.
yeah, I'm gonna have to find that.
Yeah, Method Man looks exactly. See, yeah, dude, he looks exactly
Okay.
like Bishop, man. You gotta check it out.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
no, definitely will.
Method Man song "Bulletproof Love" for Luke Cage. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was in Luke Cage. That's right.
Yep.
And
And I
actually,
know
Ghostface Killer was in Iron Man 2, but they cut the part. Was it Iron Man 2?
really.
Was it Iron Man? I think it was Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3. I can't remember which one,
Wow.
but they cut the part. Yeah, they
No, I
cut
didn't
his
know that.
part from it. Yeah,
Hadn't made
so I
that
was like,
one. That's
oh
too bad.
yeah. I watch all the deleted scenes on these movies because well before I used before I had kids I watch them all the time. I'll be like, let's
Yeah.
go check out these deleted scenes so I can pretend to know a lot more.
So
But
we
well, I
talked
was in
about that.
idiocracy, so I know this.
Yeah, you know these things. Now we kind of talked about that earlier. So were you mostly a Marvel fan, like, or did you read any other comics like Image or DC or Dark Horse? Or,
Nah, it was mostly Marvel. My favorites were like Spider-Man and Wolverine because the animated cartoons brought me to
yeah,
those two. So I stuck with Marvel. And like my sister like Batman, and like I would try to watch some of the DC stuff, and I watched it, but it seemed too, which is kind of weird because I was a kid, but it seemed too kiddie for me.
now
I
that
was like,
makes
man,
sense.
these fools ain't dealing with real life problems. It's like, but I mean, and then as like I get older, like that's what I've heard that it's DC was geared more towards like the teenage or whatever, and Marvel was like, okay, we'll go step over into get adults in there as well. So, but
Well,
yeah, I mean, I like Marvel.
I also think that determines on what decade or era you were introduced to the comics, right? DC
Yeah,
definitely was more kiddie. I'd say from the 70s to about the early 90s, it was more kiddie. And then they started getting dark, which was around the time when Marvel started getting more kiddie. They kind of go back and forth. Um, so that, yeah, I'd say with the age that you are, I could definitely understand you enjoying Marvel more than DC at that time. Um,
yeah,
I think the only reason I was a DC fan before a Marvel fan, and that was because of my dad. He put me on comic books real early, and like some of the early comics, I remember him sitting down and giving to me or reading to me was like Dark Knight, Return of the Dark Knight, which was real dark and that type of stuff. Um, so yeah, I was a heavy DC fan. I became a Marvel fan later through X Men. I love the X Men, but
yeah,
I've learned to over the years I really grew my like the types of different comics that I read, and I really started reading. I got real big into Image when they first came out. I was a huge Spawn fan. I also liked there was a comic book called The Max. They had a very briefly they had a show on
the cartoon.
MTV. Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now the the cartoon was decent, but the comic book was really good but weird. Yeah, yeah, Frank Miller. Um,
yeah. And then we also have Jay Spiggs says, "Can't believe you admitted to liking DC."
yeah, hey, you know. Now that doesn't mean I like everything DC did. They definitely had some stuff where I was like, yeah, nah. But huge Batman fan. I was never really
Okay.
big into Superman, but I loved Batman. I loved I liked the Flash comic books, and there was an era of Green Lantern that was really good. So yeah, those are like my three big DC comics that I would
You
read.
know, speaking of Superman, I guess the first rap with a reference to it would have been Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang.
Absolutely. Yeah, Superman.
They mentioned Lois Lane, Superman, and they mentioned Super Sperm. That's always how that still hasn't stayed in the vocabulary for today's youth. I don't. It's beyond me.
I have no idea that man. Yeah, I don't know how that didn't make it. But no, that just goes to show
I
though,
think that
like
should have been a scientific term. But yeah,
uh,
yeah. I mean, it's a DC. They mentioned DC, but I mean, I think they should do. They should be a super. At this point, super sperm should be in the dictionary. Like men have sperm. If the sperm creates a baby, what else?
there
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
just. Or if you have
There you
twins, they
go.
should be able to call it. It was the super sperm.
Right?
Let's see. Chowler, what's going on, man? Says, yeah, that's the consensus. People have always said DC wasn't as edgy as Marvel back in the day. That's why I like the image stuff the most. Them, Chaos
Yeah.
Comics, and whatever company did Dawn
Okay.
in Sin City.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
All
Mr.
right.
Jones.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chaos
Mr.
Comics.
Jones knows.
I do remember Chaos Comics. Now, for the life of me, and I'm just it's right now. I bet you later I'll think of it. I can't remember any of the series that they pushed. But yeah, I remember seeing some Chaos Comics. I see Marcus Yee says the '90s was rough for comics overall. Yeah, not for real. I mean, shoot, that's how we got into
That's
this
the
whole
Rob
mess
Liefeld
now.
era.
That's how we got into this whole mess now, where Marvel's having the well, Disney is buying back all of Marvel's movie rights because in the '90s Marvel was going bankrupt, and they ended up
Yeah.
having to sell the rights to a lot of their characters for movies and TV and stuff. So yeah, yep.
So Child says, oh, yeah,
Oh,
Hardcore's Image, Max, Gen 13, Witchblade, The Darkness.
yes, yeah. I liked Witchblade a lot. I liked the Darkness as well. Shoot, I liked Witchblade so much I tried to give that TV show a chance. Didn't make it
I
far,
was
but
saying, it was a TV show, right? Yeah.
I tried.
I didn't watch that. I was like, nah. They missed me with that one. Sam Keith was a weird artist, and Max was definitely weird, but he worked on Spider-Man and Batman. It was weird to see him in his style.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mr. Jones says, Challow, man, Gen 13 was my jam. I even bought one of those bootleg unreleased animated movies on VHS back in the day. See, the
Oh
Rob
yeah.
Liefeld pouches right there.
Oh man, he was a great artist, but he could not draw feet and hands to save his life. Woo!
Man,
I
a
still
couple of years
remember that.
back, I saw an article about Rob Liefeld not being able to draw feet. And dude, I was lost. It. I was like, man, like this is like it's insanity. Like all the examples they were giving and stuff, it was great. Cause like
Oh man,
I mean I knew his characters, but like I said, I didn't have the comic book, so I was like, I don't know. But like I always collected the
yeah,
cards, like the trading cards. And so I was all like, oh, what's up? I may not know the plot, but I know the stats. What's going on?
right.
Like, but
Man, those
yeah,
trading cards used to be. I remember having a bunch of those too. Yeah, those were a big deal. Those were a big deal.
I remember there was one pack of cards that I would buy, and it was like 6 cards in there, which I never understood. 'Cause now I go buy baseball cards. They're like, oh, here's 58 cards in one pack for $1. It was like the comic book ones was like 6 of them, and it was like twice the price of a regular baseball cards. I was like, man, I don't know, but I used to like buying them. I still have them somewhere around here.
Man, I wish I could find all that stuff. It's probably buried away in one of these storages my mom's got. Oh, let's see. Chaler?
Chalor.
Evil. Yeah, Lady Death. Thank you. I remember Lady Death. That's where I remember seeing. Well, I think anybody that was a teenager back in those days that saw those Lady Death drawings, you'll definitely remember that.
Yeah, I remember seeing like I guess they had figures of her like in Spencer's or Hot Topic or something, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe I should get into comic books.
yeah,
Let's see. Jay Speaks says Spawn took off in the '90s though. Spawn wasn't great
yeah,
writing, but the art, yeah, Spawn was always cool.
yeah. No, the art was dope. Now there were. I agree that the writing wasn't that great, but man, there were a handful of those early episodes, like the one about Billy Kincaid. Man, that story to this day is still just some of the best artwork and such a creepy like character. Him being a child molester and all of that. But that was I thought that was a really well written issue, and there were a couple others that were really good. But yeah, overall the writing was eh. But that was never Todd McFarlane's biggest. That was never his big forte.
Yeah. Dude, you
That's
don't
stupid.
know Tom McFarlane now. He makes like
Oh, super dope toys.
he makes a lot of action figures. Like he has
Yeah.
McFarlane toys, and he uh he always brings them on early on production. He's like, "Oh, we
Yep.
have this toy right here," and he's introduced to it, but then he always goes like just out of nowhere with his stuff. Like they made the Batmo Beast. Do you even know what that is? It's like
No.
the soul
Yeah,
of
I missed that.
Batman in a monster truck.
Oh
Oh
wow.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure everybody wants that one, but I mean, it's a pretty big toy. He goes, look how big it is, and he goes over to a little Asian woman that works for him. He's like, it's almost as big as her, and it's like, dude, like what? Like, like
Sounds like
where
Todd
was the
McFarlane.
thought on that? And yeah, and
Um.
then one day he displayed some like Robin action figures, and he used like the
Yeah.
little trays that McDonald's puts the hotcakes on. He was like, "Oh, look at this right here," and it's like, "Why are you showing them into like this little food tray?" Like, I don't know, dude's
That's crazy.
bizarre, but he
So
makes a lot of
Sonny,
toys. So
do you remember?
yeah,
So okay, a long time ago, I used to be a manager at a Spencer's, and
mm,
that we used to sell some of Todd McFarlane's toy line in there. And I want to say it was a toy line all based on like fairy tale characters, like Alice in Wonderland,
yeah.
a couple other ones like
Was
that.
it
Do
the
you remember
Twisted
those?
Fairy Tales?
Yeah, I think that was it. Did you
Yeah,
ever
like
get any of
what's it
those?
called? The, like Twisted something?
Yeah, Twisted
I
Tales
didn't.
or
I never
Twisted.
got them.
Okay.
Just let me see if someone has it in here. I done missed all out of these chats, but yeah, I think it was Twisted something like that. But yeah, those they look dope. But at the
Yeah.
time, I was like, man, I was probably making like $6 an hour somewhere. And I was like, that's like 2 hours worth of my pay. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Now they
but
they
yeah,
were
those
expensive
are
for
pretty
sure.
dope.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember. I
yeah,
remember
no,
that
they
being.
were cool. He made a bunch of those.
Yeah.
But
Nah, he
yeah,
made
no,
definitely
he
some
makes his
dope
own line
toys.
now. It's like it's mostly DC. He has The Witcher. You watch that show, The Witcher,
Yeah,
or did you
I
play
like
the
that show.
games? Oh,
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah, so he makes the Witcher toy. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, Mr. Jones says Twisted Fairy Tales. So yeah, that's what it was.
Twisted Fairy Tales. Okay.
Like I said, you have a question,
Yeah.
you just instead of Googling, you just ask Mr. Jones, and he got the answer for you. So Mr. Jones, he knows everything, man. One time I brought up David the Gnome, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that show." I was
Oh,
like, "God dang!" Like, actually,
I
quite a
remember
few of
that.
them remember that show. Did you ever watch that show? You missed it? Okay,
Sadly, I
dude.
remember David the Gnome.
If you make a David the Gnome reference in any rap line, just retire after that. Like, no, there's no saving from that one, man.
Uh, Hood pass revoked.
Yeah, if you say something like come at me wrong, I'm gonna send you home dead, David the Gnome. Nope, 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 can't
uh,
do it, can't do it.
I never made a reference to David the Gnome, but I did make a reference to uh, uh, remember the traveling gnome from them commercials back in the day?
Expedia dude
Yeah,
was yeah, yeah.
yeah, I did put that in a bar one time. Yeah.
What's the oddest thing you've ever put in a bar?
Mm, Oddest.
The
Wow.
oddest.
Ooh wee. Um, I mean, I don't consider it odd, but I know the reference went over a lot of people's head. Um, so there was this song I featured on, and it was called UFO Money, and I it was somebody else's song, and so when I sat down to write it, I got real high, and I remember I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna pack as many sci-fi references into this verse as I can. And so it started off. I said, Sino Calrissian, brother from another planet, make on Michael Jordan money on the Falcon space jamming. Got a bar on Mars, a strip club on Venus, making money off Uranus because my pimping is the cleanest. And
Okay.
that that line about brother from another planet, there's actually a movie that came out in the 80s, and it's called Brother from Another Planet. And it stars, I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy that played the scientist from Terminator 2 that developed that developed the hand. Well, he found the hand and developed the what would go to be Skynet from it. It starred that guy in it. And the only reason I remember that movie is because um, my mom was in film school when I was little, so we used to watch all these crazy
Oh,
movies.
okay.
And so I remembered that movie, Brother from Another Planet, and I stuck it in there. And when I was going over the references, people were like, "I've never heard of that." So I had to say that's probably one of the oddest that I've stuck into a rap.
So Mr. Jones says his friend Mario nicknamed him the source because he always seems to have an answer for everything. So we'll see if Mr. Jones has heard of Brother from Another Planet.
Brother from Another Planet.
Uh,
If anybody has seen that, I'm in awe because I know I would have never ran across it or seen it if not for my mom. And it's such an old movie that I would be very surprised if anyone's seen it.
you know what's crazy? Like, so when you grow up poor, you don't necessarily go see all the movies in theater. I mean,
Yeah.
we go to the dollar theater every now and then. So it's like
Hmm.
sometimes I watch a movie like, and it happened when I was younger. So now like I don't even take for granted that people seen some of the stuff I've seen. Because I might mention a movie, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's just like that movie, blah blah. Everybody looks at me like,
Yeah. What's that?
I ain't never heard of that movie. So like now I'm more like, have you seen that movie? Like I can't even make references because I'm like, I remember the first time I mentioned Mac and Me. I made a reference to the movie Mac and Me.
Wow.
I
I
I
remember
had
that.
no idea. Yeah, I had no idea how many people had seen that. I'm like, really? That's the movie y'all seen? Like, okay, all right, whatever. Like,
You know what I most remember about Mac and Me? It was literally an hour and a half long commercial for McDonald's. Oh
yeah, man.
man.
We used to watch it. I'm just like, oh man, this is what aliens gonna be like. This is our UET. This is our ET right here. Hold on. Mr. Joe says he remembers Brother from Another Planet. He said he's seen it.
Wait, you remember Brothers from Another Planet? Or is he talking
He
about
said
Mac and
he's
Me?
seen it. He said, oh, nah, they're not talking about Jay Speaks says he remembers Mac and Me.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Mr. Joe says, don't bring him back.
Man,
Oh man.
it was straight up a rip off ET for real. That movie, oh man.
Uh Chalice says, Mr. Jones, man, what could have been? I mean, oh, he's talking about something. We missed a lot of the chat
Oh, okay.
earlier.
They had a whole conversation going on.
Okay,
Uh,
Chalice says, don't forget Coke. Mac and Me loved him some Coke.
yeah, he did love him some coke. Oh man, that movie. Because literally, didn't they have? Maybe I'm tripping because I haven't watched that movie in forever. But wasn't there like a whole like dance number in a McDonald's in the middle of that movie?
Was it? Man,
And Mac and Me, they did
I'm
have
trying
pot
to
bellies
think
and
now.
eating all that McDonald's. They were fat aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, Marcus, he says, I'm alive for when Mac and Me out, and I'm grateful for it.
You didn't miss anything,
Dude, so
sir.
like when I worked at Target, I yeah, you didn't miss much. Eating mac and cheese, like what Mac and Me was. Uh,
Mac and me.
Where we at? Where we at? Oh, there we go. All right. No, but came out on DVD, like they re-released it. And I picked
Yeah.
up a copy and I was like, I'm gonna buy this. And I got to the register and I chickened out. I was like, throw that over there in the Snickers. I'm not gonna buy it after all. But yeah, I was like, I could have
I
forced
bet
my
you it's
kids to
free on
watch it. I made them
YouTube.
watch Monster Squad. Oh
Yo,
yeah, it
okay.
probably is.
Monster Squad, I do have fond memories of that movie. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember I liked it a lot as a kid. Kick him in the
I just remember
net.
that Wolfman's got nards. Yeah, Wolfman don't got no nards.
Oh man,
Yeah, that was.
Monster Squad.
Let's see. Mr. Jones says, I remember Brother from Another Planet and Mac and Me. Oh, okay, I'm gonna send those,
Wow.
brother.
Okay, you are definitely the source. Because if you remember Brother from Another Planet, I'm thoroughly impressed. Mac and Me is on
Jay
HBO
Speak
Max.
says Mac and Me.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna make my kids watch it. Let's see. Mac and Me is still a good Kmart ET, like the GoBots of Transformers.
Oh, go
I saw
bots,
ET a couple of times. That what got you right there, GoBots.
go bots.
What's the 40th anniversary of ET Day?
Okay, so going back to being poor kids, I didn't have any Transformers, but I had GoBots because you could get them at Wieners for like a dollar.
And you can put them on layaway at Wieners.
Man, dude,
Like you can
GoBots
go
was
to
so trash.
Levi's and these stores.
They literally had a GoBot that turned into a rock. Like you just popped his arms out and you popped his head and you flicked the legs down and he would turn from a rock to a robot. like a like a boulder. It's the worst
Damn.
GoBot ever. Oh man.
Man, it's like I think when I was younger, I had uh Optimus Prime,
Okay.
but like the trailer bed. The trailer bed,
Yeah.
not Optimus Prime.
not,
It's like a
not
trailer bed.
actually Optimus.
Yeah. Where did I even get this from? Like, I don't understand.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I don't
uh,
I don't think I had a Transformer. I remember getting like a Transformer, and by the time I actually got one, like I wasn't really into Transformers anymore. Like I just crossed over that age where it was like, yeah, I don't want this.
you're
Oh
like, I
man,
just saw boobs for the first time.
right? Like, I'm trying to watch the squiggly Skinamax channel.
Maybe there for what, an hour and finally be like, yes. Oh, okay, it's gone.
Oh yeah, right. You get like a flash. Hey, you remember
Yeah,
the old cable channel thing where it was the little box and it'd be like, grrr, grrr, and you had to change the channel that way. Oh yeah,
yeah.
you
It had
couldn't
the like
sneak watch it
30-foot
nothing
cable.
then. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, my aunt had those. I was like, I always thought I was like, man, these fools are rich. Like we still got pliers. Like we still had that pull out knob on our TV. And I was
Yeah,
tripping out because like when I was younger, I was like, I guess this is just a thing. Like my mind was blown when I went to my other aunt's house. Like her husband was like CEO of HEB or something like that. He was something big in HEB. So they
yeah,
had money. I was tripping out. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. You can change the TV channels with this device? Like
yep.
you would have thought that I time traveled from like the 1960s into the 1980s. Like it was just bizarre how far behind the technology we were because we were poor.
Oh yeah. No, it was the same here. Like, cause it was just me and my mom, so we didn't have a lot. But when I would go to my grandparents, that's where I got the. They had a little something. So I'd be able to watch cable and do stuff over
Oh,
there that I couldn't
okay,
do at home.
okay.
And actually, it was because of them that I had comic books. They would buy me comic
Yeah,
books and stuff like that.
that's cool. Yeah, my dad would buy me comic books every now and then. I've said it before in live streams that he would buy them for me, and I didn't know you had to stick with that series and that storyline to buy the next one.
Right to
So
know
like,
what
I'd
was
be
going
all
on.
lost. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, yeah, like wait, what? And then I was stupid. Like my parents would sometimes take me to Walgreens and they'd be like, "Oh, you can go pick out a comic book. We got extra money." I'm like, "Yeah." And I'll be like, "Man, I'm gonna take this one right here." I wouldn't open it, so I just take it like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get this one right here." It'd be those
Yeah.
art ones. There's no stories,
Oh,
just different artists drawing the different characters. And so I'm like, oh,
okay.
okay. I still don't
I remember those.
have not advanced my knowledge for comic books, but they were cool. I mean, they were cool for what they were.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, everybody got a starting point, man. If that was your starting point, ain't nothing wrong with that.
That was my ending point too, because I continue to choose those like because they had the best covers. Like I'll admit they had dope covers. So I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, oh, this looks like a nice little piece. Like I could rip this out, slide it inside my binder since my parents didn't give me no Trapper Keeper. Slide in my
Yeah.
binder.
You know what I used to also buy comic book wise? Um, and I bet you Mr. Jones will remember these. So they Marvel used to put out these issues like a couple of times a year where it would just basically be a rundown on all the characters. So it would be like A through G or whatever, and it would have all the good guys, the bad guys, even like their bases and the organizations. And it was like I think it was called man, I can't remember what they called it, but it would just be a breakdown on the character. So it would have a drawing of the character, uh, big episodes that they've been in, and then like a rundown on their powers and their backstory and stuff. I used to buy those like religiously because I wanted to know every single character. I remember I one year I tried to get every A through Z. I never finished it, but I remember those.
And that's cool. It's like a Cliff Notes comic books.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I could remember what that was called, but yeah, I remember buying those like all the time.
See, let's see. Miss Jones says he might have some of the books you're talking about.
Already.
And Shallow is talking about Red Shoe Diaries with David Duchovny. I'm not
All
sure where
right.
that conversation
That
came
just
from.
that's hey, I guess that was back to the Cinemax stuff and some softcore porn.
Yeah, I think so. What do they call it? Skinemax? They used to call it.
Cinemax. Oh man,
Yeah,
Cinemax
but
was the king of softcore porn. Boy, that was just a whole lot of rubbing and
the moaning.
oh my god, I can't believe I'm talking about this stuff.
Welcome to the Sonny channel where nothing is off
There
limits
you go.
there.
Nothing is off limits.
Yeah, oh look,
Cinemax.
okay. Of course Mr. Jones used to watch Red Shoe Diaries.
Oh Lord.
Oh man. Oh man. Let's see. Look, there we go. Marcus he says Girth Gang Sunday live stream after hours edition. Uh, Savage Saint says Marvel Universe
yes,
official handbook or something like that.
yes, that was it. Savage Saint. Thank you.
Yeah. Obi-Wan Chigona says it's breaking up. Yeah, I think it's breaking up. Uh, so I use this StreamYard, as you can see right there by your face. Uh, and they're always like, every time I make a complaint, like, oh yeah, it's messed up. They're like, oh, try using Firefox. And I'm like, I am using Firefox. They're like, have you tried Chrome? I'm like, y'all keep telling me to stop doing Chrome. Like,
All right.
I need to find a new thing, is basically what I'm saying, or pay them like they want me to.
Oh, that's probably what it is. They're like, yeah, time to give us some money, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Jace Figs watched Xena Warrior Princess with
Oh,
was it
I
is
mean,
it
you
Lucy
can't
Lucy
go
Lawless? Was it
Lucy
Lucy Lawless?
Lawless. You can't go bad
Okay,
with
yeah.
Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah.
I
I
used
used
to
to
watch
watch
that.
Hercules, and then when they did that spinoff for Xena, I was like, okay, I have to
Yeah,
catch some Xena too now to make sure that they actually started the whole connected universes like that.
they were one of the early ones. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mark C says, glad we're not weirding out the guests. Wait until he finds out about the whale booty. I'm
Well,
just gonna, I'm just gonna leave him wondering
thanks
about
for
that.
bringing that up. You're gonna have to fill me in on this whale booty.
So a whale booty. No. Dude, there's so many things that like are said and that people just catch it. And I'm like, dang it, like why am I saying this right now?
Oh, it's too funny. It said whale
Jay
booty.
Jay Speaks says Xena was his late night porn.
I can
Oh man.
absolutely see that.
He's like, it's not all squiggly. See, Mr. Jones says the dude that played Hercules' partner directs episodes of Power Rangers Dino Fury these days, I think.
What?
Okay. Did you do Power Rangers? I know you're older than me. Did you do Power Rangers though?
Power Rangers came around. At least I remember first seeing it when I was like maybe a freshman
Okay.
in high school, or maybe eighth grade. So I watched like that first season, and then I was kind of like, eh,
And then you're like, Kimberly, you're not doing it for me anymore.
right?
Zena's on.
You know what's crazy though? So I was reintroduced to Power Rangers much later, and did not realize like there's a crap load of Power Rangers. Like they there's Dino Force and Ninja Force, Time Force,
Yeah.
and like good lord, look at all these. It's like it's a lot of Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah.
A whole lot of them.
My oldest, he was watching them, and I was like, I was like, well, hold on, like what? I think it was the Power Rangers Zeo or something like that. I think.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I was like, oh, okay, all right. But Mr. Jones actually sent me a little clip that said Austin St. John, the first Red Ranger. I forgot already what trouble he got into, but yeah, he got into some trouble.
Mm,
And I'm like, man, like I don't know what's up with these Power Rangers. Oh yeah, I always say whenever Power Rangers mentioned R.I.P. to Trini, the Yellow Ranger. She passed away.
yeah,
She passed away in a car accident
I
like a long time ago.
no, yeah, I did. I do remember that. I do remember
Yeah.
that.
Let's see. Oh, Jay Spick says Power Rangers Aisha though.
Which one was Aisha?
She played the Yellow Ranger in the
Okay,
second movie, I think.
in the
Was the
second
second?
movie.
I don't know when it was, but she played the Yellow Ranger. Uh, let's
Yeah, now
see.
that's one area you all may have me beat is
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. I do not know that universe at all
Oh, in the movie. Yeah,
in the movie.
Aisha was
Okay,
the Yellow Ranger in the movie. That's who it was. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. No, I mean, I watched the Power Rangers for a little bit, and then I don't know. I think the movies after there were ninjas in the movie, I thought
Yeah,
that was cool, but then I stopped looking at it. Like
yeah.
it's
I
weird. Like
Oh, go ahead.
oh no, cause I used to watch South Park all the time as well, and then I saw the movie. I liked the movie, and I just stopped watching the show. I have no idea why. So it's like I
Hmm,
can't watch movies or the shows for some reason. It just breaks my habit of watching the show.
I feel that. South Park's been on so long now. I've I come and go with it. Right, like I watch maybe the first 5 seasons religiously straight. Then I kind of stopped for a while, and I started watching it again probably around like season 9 or 10. Watched a few seasons and stopped, because it's been on for a while. Kind of like The Simpsons.
Yeah, yeah. The Simpsons. I used to watch it all. And that was another one, man. I watched the movie and I fell off of the show. I don't have a clue. I don't know what it is with movies that just kill it for me. But
Now I
actually,
can
no, I think
understand that.
yeah, that was another one that I was all excited about the movie, saw the movie, and then all of a sudden the show nothing. I was like, all right, whatever. Mark
But the
Z
show did.
said, "What's up?"
I was just gonna say the Simpsons show did kind of get bad after a while,
Yeah, it feels forced. Like it started feeling forced. I watched a few episodes a couple years ago, and I was like, nah. But Mark G says I'd recommend the comics if you want to get into Power Rangers, but not interested in the campiness of the most of the seasons.
though. Okay.
Well, now
All
I
right.
did see a story that they made one of the Power Rangers non-binary, but they're like a robot. So
That would make sense, as a robot.
I mean, it wouldn't make sense because robots run off of binary code. So I'm like,
Oh, 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 oh,
so
oh,
I'm
oh.
like, I don't understand, but all right, like. Let's see. Dang it, Jay Spix said he saw Doctor Strange again today. Caught something he didn't catch first. I still haven't seen it yet. I hate myself that I
Oh,
haven't seen
all
it.
right. Well, we can't
I don't
talk
hate
about
myself.
this. I don't
Yeah.
want to spoil it for you.
Chandler says, "I live for the days when we get some lesbo loving on Cena." I should really read these before I just put them up here. Gabriel became one when she was a vampire and eventually went to the dark side of the being a short Amazonian man.
I
Let's
do
see.
remember some lesbo action on Xena once or twice.
Yeah, they they got down. Obi-Wan Chigona's this sounds weird. Have you two gotten into Stranger Things? What was that one time we were both in the club? No.
I
No, I haven't
actually
seen the
started
last
watching.
season.
Yeah, I started watching season 4 just the other day. When I'm done with this, I got a few things I got to do, and then I'm down to the last two episodes for part 1 of this season. I like
I,
that show a lot. Yeah.
I would say how's the new season? Pretty good.
Uh, there's like everything. There's 1 or 2 episodes where they kind of got to slow it down and give you a lot of exposition. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm enjoying this season so far.
So did you catch all the Disney MCU shows?
I have. Let me see. Did I? Yes, I've watched every single one of them so far.
Which one was your favorite?
Ooh, man.
If you say Hawkeye, I will end the stream. No, I'm just kidding.
No, no, it definitely wasn't Hawkeye. Man, that's tough because I really liked. Okay, I'm gonna have to go with WandaVision. Um, Mostly overall because I think it was a really well done story. I also liked, um, a lot of the metaphors that they were using with her going through the various eras of TV. I
That
really
was
liked that. I thought that was really dope. Also, how they did it, just it was well done and put together. I love the reveal of Agatha. Uh, Harkness.
Harkness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I liked her reveal. So overall, I thought that was a more well put together um, season. But I really liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier a lot. I thought it had some good action, and I'm not gonna lie, I fanboyed out so hard in that last episode when they finally revealed him in the Captain America suit. I vividly remember I was here in the house by myself, and when he comes crashing through the window in the suit, I yelled, I yelled so loud, I woke the dog up. The dog started tripping, thinking that something was going on in the house. Uh, so I think WandaVision was a tighter, better overall story, but I also equally really enjoyed the action and just I just liked seeing Sam finally get to be Captain America. That was a big deal for me. So
Yeah. I mean, so Captain. I'm sorry, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't know, man. It didn't do it for me. It was to me. It was the true enemy, or whatever the little girl with the super serum.
yeah,
I don't know. That seemed to be like a subplot that they tried to bring up, and so it was kind of like it just to me that fell short. And then they killed what's his name, Battlestar. I like that dude. I was like, that dude was cool, man. Like why y'all do that to him? But um yeah, man, I really liked, I'll be honest, I really liked, I think, Moon Knight the most. Just
really
because of the psychological aspect. Yeah, just because the psychological aspect, it's nothing we've seen in a Marvel movie, or nothing we've seen with
true.
Marvel at all. And I really like that aspect of it. But WandaVision was cool
Okay,
too. I did, like you're saying, with the episodes with the different eras of time. That was cool. Now I'm not gonna lie, the first episode I was like, what am I watching?
yeah.
Like,
What am I watching?
but I'd heard that, so I actually waited till the second episode was out to watch them back to back.
Okay,
But yeah, it
got
was yeah.
man. And I hate to say this because I think usually you and we're pretty on agreement on most TV type stuff, but man, Moon Knight. Ah, I really wanted to like it, but I remember by the third episode, I was still just like, "What? What's going?" What's happening here? What's happening? I did think that the whole, diving into if he mentally unstable, or if he really doing these things. I did like that aspect of the show.
Yeah.
But overall, it just, I don't know, it just didn't come together for me. And I used to read the Moon Knight comics, so I already kind of had an idea of, what that all was about. But I just walked away with it with way more questions, and just like, does this even have anything to do with the MCU? Like, usually they're so good at
Yeah.
tying everything together. I walked away from this like, is this a different universe? Like, I don't know. I just felt like I didn't know what was going. I didn't see how it had anything to do with the MCU we've been watching all these years.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I get that, but someone mentioned to me that they briefly mentioned one of the gods from Wakanda, from like Black Panther.
Bast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're like that was the only part that really tied it in to the MCU. And I'm like, okay, I think, yeah, I guess it would have been.
Right, and I
So
and I and I could, whoever told you that, I could see where they're coming from. But for me, I thought was kind of a stretch, because Bast is a traditional Egyptian goddess. Um, so the tie to Black Panther, even that was kind of loose for me, because Moon Knight was all based around the Egyptian pantheon, and Bast is definitely one of them more, at least from contemporary standards, one of the more popular or well known gods from their pantheon. We definitely
yeah,
know who Bast is.
man. I went to the museum, the National Science Museum in Houston
Yeah.
yesterday, and
Oh, okay.
we went to the King Ramses exhibit. So it's like a traveling exhibit.
Nice.
I was stupid. I didn't bring any Moon Knight figure. I was like,
Oh,
dang, it'd been
yeah, man,
perfect
that
just to
would
be
have
like
been a
post
dope
them up with
setup.
everything. And then nobody like because people are like talking around like, oh, look at this right here. It's a little, and I was like, psh, no references to Khonshu whatsoever. And I just walk off like, then I look back and I'm like, okay, nobody got that one. All right, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you, like, and I used to love reading about all of the various um, religions that had multiple gods. I don't even remember reading much about Khonshu when I used to read about the Egyptian pantheon. I always remember like Osiris. I remember Bast. I remember um, Set, Horus. I remember a lot of those, but I don't remember much. I don't shoot. I'll be honest. I don't remember Khonshu at all. So
Man, I was like, I don't even think he was he. I don't think he was real. Was he? Was it
I don't
just in my
know.
mind? I don't, but
We'll have to ask
Mr. Jones,
uh, Mr. Source. The Source.
the source there, yeah. No, but you know what? My wife and kids caught it. I didn't catch it somehow, but they said that Osiris. I had never knew it that he was believed to be whatever pharaoh passed away became the new Osiris. I had no idea. I'm
Okay.
like, oh, damn, I didn't know that because they were talking about King Ramses. They were like he was a godlike pharaoh.
Yeah.
Then when he passed, everybody was happy because he became the new Osiris. And I'm like, I don't remember that happening, but okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot of stuff over there too. I also learned that Ramses was like Banksy basically. He wrote his
Mm,
name on everything he saw. So
yeah.
it's like he put his little inscription on everything. They said that fool would like find structures, redo them a little, and then put his name all over them. And people are like, oh, this is Ramses. That's why they
Oh.
saying that he had such a big empire because all he did was just jack stuff and put his name on it. Like be done.
Oh. So he was like Puffy P Diddy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. There you go. He take hits from the '80s. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Make him sound so crazy. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Like yeah,
take that.
exactly. Take that.
Take
Yeah.
that.
Oh, dang. I told my wife I was like I need to be like Ramses. I need to take from others and put my name on it.
Man, hey, it's it's the best way to get on.
Yeah, exactly, man. I was like, when we start our 616 Mafia, yeah, we're taking over.
There we go. Take everybody's
Uh,
stuff.
Mr. Jones is Towerette and Bachelor Sisters.
Okay.
Also didn't I that was the one thing I didn't like that Towerette, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Towerette in
Correct.
Moon Knight. That was the only
Yeah.
one that I was like, mm, they played her like a ditzy blonde, and I wasn't that didn't work for me.
Yeah. Man, like I said, I really, really wanted to like it. I just, I just couldn't get in. Like when I was about halfway through, I still wasn't into it. It was just like, okay. I mean, I finished it, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I thought, oh
Mr.
wait, look,
Jones is
Mr.
our
Good,
Universe's watcher.
and he responded, Khonshu was a real god. I didn't know. I've never heard of him. Like all the studies that we did about the Egyptian gods and stuff like that, gods and goddesses, I never heard of Khonshu.
Yeah, no, I hadn't either. So,
Oh, he is
but
actually
all
the
right,
moon god.
okay. Well, if Miss,
Yeah,
you
no,
know
but
what? I've become a believer in Mr. Jones during this live stream. So if he says it, I believe it. It's the gospel.
there you go. Rick Salazar, what's going on, man? Says Moon Knight references the ancestral plane as well. That's right, he did. They
Oh,
did.
okay.
They did reference that. A direct reference to Black Panther.
All right.
But- Marty C,
Towel
you
away.
got he got the GoBots version. Towel wet. Let's see. Oh wait, I think this is part from it. My former girlfriend would call me Bastet. Oh, like I remind her of that goddess. Obviously, a male version cat god. She was an Egyptologist or whatever
Okay.
it's called when your religion Egyptian what polytheistic maybe.
Polytheistic.
But yeah, Moon Knight was supposed to lead into Thor: Love and Thunder. What? Oh, those scenes were deleted. Oh, that
Okay.
sucks.
Which would make sense.
Yeah, that would have been cool to have lead in that way. Have you seen the trailer to that Thor: Love and Thunder?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That looks like that's gonna be just as fun as Ragnarok was.
Thank you, thank you. Hey, what's your
Yeah.
favorite MCU movie?
Ooh, man, that's a tough question. Um,
I catch
um,
flack 'cause I say Ragnarok.
I mean, Ragnarok was definitely extremely entertaining. Um,
Yeah,
oh man, that's hard, bro. Because there's so many that I've liked for different reasons. Um, so I don't know if I can give you like a definitive favorite, but I'll name like three that are really high up there for me. So the first one where I was like, okay, they really onto something. Um, beyond just being a comic book fan, like the first movie that I was like, okay, I could watch this, and even if it had nothing to do with comic books, was Winter Soldier. Uh, love that movie. That was a great movie across the board. Like I loved how they kind of made it an action spy type movie and all of that. So
yeah,
Winter Soldier was definitely one of my favorites. Um, um, Black Panther, love that movie. Uh, Now I actually talk about this on my Nerdy McFly show. I really love that movie for some really hardcore personal reasons. So like the whole way they did Killmonger in that movie reminded me a lot of my own life because my parents were really heavy into like the black social movement. That's how they met in college. So the way um, a lot of now my parents weren't like all into like complete overthrow the government and get guns and all of that necessarily that hardcore with it, but a lot of the stuff that he was talking about heavily reminded me of a lot of the type of stuff my dad and my mom put me onto when I was a kid. So that movie really resonated with me on a personal level. So that I thought that was a great movie.
yeah.
Um, and then I would probably have to say uh, Uh, I might have to lean towards the actual Infinity War movie.
Cool.
Thought
Yeah,
that was a
nah,
great movie.
it's crazy. Like anytime that like sometimes I watch I ask my young one, hey, you want to watch a movie? He'll be like, yeah. Usually he picks Sonic the Hedgehog. Uh, anytime he mentions a Marvel movie, it's always Black Panther. I don't have. It's
Okay.
just something. Black Panther's the one that he always asks for. I'm like, man, that's
Yeah.
cool. So that's the one. Like we'll buy him. Like when we were buying him face masks and stuff. I was like, which or I would just tell him. I wouldn't even take him to the store. I was like, hey man, you want me to buy your face mask? He was like, yeah, make it a Black Panther. I'm like, all right, like okay, like um, and it's funny because he has a cousin who's black, and he was doing the whole Wakanda Forever, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Like he really loved the movie. I mentioned something about the movie. He's like, oh, I haven't seen the movie yet. I
Wow.
was like,
But
dude,
he knew
go-
that.
like, dude, you're like 12, 13 years old. Go watch the movie. My 5-year-old could probably recite the movie for you. But in that movie, to me, Killmonger was the most interesting character in there,
Oh, yeah, for
like
sure.
by far. And I was so glad that they brought him back for the What If series.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But no,
Yeah,
I agree with you. Hands down, Killmonger was the driving force behind that movie. My
yeah,
opinion, he was more interesting than the actual Black Panther. Um, I think had you not had that character in that movie, it may not have. And that particular story, I don't think it would have been as good.
yeah, yeah. I think if they lean on the whole like Ulysses Claw,
Yeah,
a good actor, good actor, great actor.
yeah, good character. I thought he was funny,
But yeah,
and fun to watch. You actually, he was a bad guy that you enjoyed watching, and when you get
yes,
a good bad guy like that, it always I think makes the movie better. But
yeah.
I don't think his storyline itself could have carried that movie.
No, no, yeah. Hey man, I just realized I've had you on for like an hour and a half. I know you said you had some stuff you got to do, watch Stranger Things or whatever.
I gotta finish knocking out a couple of verses. I got some
Oh,
paid stuff, so gotta make this money.
I see. I hear you, man. Uh, and then you do ghostwriting, not ghostwriting, writing, right? I do want to try to touch
Yeah.
on that real quick before you
Oh
jump
yeah,
off.
yeah. So we were kind of discussing earlier. So and you perfect segue into it. So ghostwriting is when you writing for somebody else and you get no credit. So you're not listed in like that. You're literally paid to not get any credit. And I did do a lot of that for a long time. Um, and also, part of it, you're not really supposed to talk about, who you wrote for or whatever, and all of that stuff. So the reason why I started to get away from ghostwriting is because, well, I like I said, I'm not gonna rap forever, but it doesn't mean I'm not gonna write raps or write hooks and songs for other people. So by going into just using my actual government name and not my stage name, CasinoATX, I could put down my government name, and I'm just one of many names that you might see in the back of, album credits or whatever. And so that way, I can now ask for royalties and publishing and different other things like that. It also makes it easier for my publishing company to scout around and get more work for me. So that's actually straight up my main revenue stream as an artist is writing for other people. Um, I get paid up front. It's just like a producer, right? So I get paid up front. When you're the actual artist, you're paying out so much money and having to pay to promote the music and all of this other stuff. You actually might not get paid until you might be the last person to actually get paid. So by me
Yeah,
writing for other people, um, it still allows me to be creative and make music, but I'm just getting paid straight up front to do it. Yeah, and
yeah.
see, Mr. Jones said, didn't Kanye ghostwrite? He did. He
For
would
Jay
make
Z,
beats.
right?
He actually, yeah, for Jay Z, but not just Jay Z.
Yeah,
Like a lot of people, if you watch that documentary that's on Netflix, they talk about that mostly in the first part one. But yeah, he definitely did a lot of ghostwriting and behind the scenes writing for a lot of people. He wrote a lot of hooks. So if you
So,
came and bought a beat from him, he would sell you a hook.
but like, so as a ghostwriter, I mean, how do you even get business? Because you're like, hey man, just so you're aware, I wrote that one song for you know who. Like,
Well,
like, can you have a
so
resume as the ghostwriter?
yes and no. Um, so it depends. So if all right, well, I can talk about this because um, well, one, sadly, this person is no longer with us. But he would definitely sing my praises to other people. So how I really got into ghostwriting was through Bushwick Bill. Um, so I used to go to Houston a lot with T-Flow, and we'd be in all these different studios. And so T-Flow knew Bushwick Bill's manager, and T-Flow was like, he would always bring me with him because I used to make beats, but he knew I was a really great writer, so he would always be like, "Hey, when I'm going to bring you to these sessions. When I'm making beats or doing things, just write." And after a while, he would be like, Casino, what'd you come up with to that? And I'd spit whatever I had, and eventually Bushwick bought a bit on something, and he used the hook that I came up with on a song, and then from there, just going to different studios. What ends up happening is the engineers. If I always learn, I don't want to know the artist. That's not the main person I want to meet. I want to meet the engineers. I want to meet the producers. I want to meet the managers. I want to meet all of the people making the things happen behind the artist, right?
Yeah.
Because if you get in cool with them, those are the people that actually get you more work. And so by me getting to know a lot of different producers, by meeting a lot of the sound engineers, they were the ones that started putting me on to more work.
Oh, okay. Hey, I
And,
always wondered that, like, cause I mean, I know a lot of that stuff you can't say that you've done something until like it drops or whatever like that.
I,
Like, like Black Mike, you know Black Mike, right?
oh yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So once I was chilling with him, he was just like randomly messing around making a beat. I'm like, this was just making a beat. Like I'm up here like just on my phone on Facebook. He's up here making a beat randomly. But he was like, yeah, I just produced or I did most of the tracks for Maya's new album. I was like,
Hmm.
Maya. I was like, man, I was like, to me it sounded weird. He goes and hits her up on Twitter. He's like, hey, what's up? And she's like, hey, what's up, Black Mike? What's up? I'm like, okay, never mind. I believe you now. I believe you. She hit you
Yeah,
back that fast and that friendly. I was like, man, it was cool though, but just to hear like, but
and dog,
I don't know
here's
who
what's
was
crazy.
credited though.
Here's what's crazy. Um, a lot of people think that Austin has not produced any major hip hop. We That's completely false. We just haven't produced a major mainstream artist. But when you talk about behind the scenes work, Austin's stamp is all over lots of different music. And in
Yeah.
particular, Houston's last boom period was directly the result of Austin producers. And I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, Salih and them.
Solid, yeah, yeah, because I knew this one dude named DeMichael Houston who now he's like a professional gamer.
Yeah,
But
I
he
know the
he
Mike.
was DeMichael? Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to rap for a while
Mhm.
under name I think BeatStar, which I think is his YouTube channel. I think that's what it
Yeah, I
is.
think that's what it was. Yeah.
Uh, and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, man, Solly dropping me a beat. I was saying all this stuff. He did Still Tipping, which is like one of I was well, I don't know how far it stretched because we're in Texas where like we heard Still Tipping before it hit the radio, so I have no idea how far it stretched. But
Right.
I would say either probably Still Tipping or Want to Be a Baller were probably maybe the biggest to come out of Texas. Would you or come out of Houston? Would you say? Well, now I
Um.
guess Travis Scott now, but
Oh well, definitely Travis Scott and Megan the Stallion would be the most current.
oh, that's right. I
Like,
forget she's from here too. Yeah,
they would be the current biggest sounds
yeah,
out of Houston. But in the 2000s, you definitely would have to make the argument that Still Tipping. Back then, they didn't want me sitting sideways. Those were big hits, and Salih and Carnival Beats did all of those.
yeah. Carnival
Um,
Beats. There you go. That's all I was trying to think of what he
yeah.
went by. Yeah,
Now you
yeah.
go
Which
back a little
yeah, I
bit
know that.
further. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was like that. It's crazy though because they're like, oh, it's that Houston sound. I'm like, but it's from an Austin dude. Like, yeah, it's from yeah,
Yeah, three brothers from Austin. Well, four brothers from Austin. Um, and like that, it 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 trips me out, especially this new generation doesn't know that, and they're all talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna be the first to blow Austin. Like, dude, Austin's been blown. Now, the only way we haven't had like major mainstream is like an actual artist that most people across the country could name and say, oh yeah, they're from Austin. Now we haven't had that, but
yeah.
Austin's got its stamp on the sound. Like you were
And
saying, Black Mike, I can name like four or five other producers who have all
yeah,
worked on major albums.
yeah, and we need that because right now Amber Heard is not making us look good. It's like, why does she have to come out of Austin? Like, God, man.
I don't know. I when it comes to actors and actresses, I usually go with that the black dude that was on Supergirl. He's from Austin.
Supergirl.
Yeah, the TV
We
show.
on Supergirl there was one of the I guess she played Bizarro Supergirl. I actually shot her audition for
Oh,
like for her to go to do that, and she sent it off or whatever. She ended up getting the role. I was like, oh, that's
yeah.
dope. But she was here from well, she I think was she originally Austin? I think she was originally from Austin.
Okay. But
But
no, that black dude that was on Supergirl that played her love interest, and he was also in that last Mortal Kombat movie. He played Jax.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't know
guy's
he's
from
from Austin.
Austin.
That's dope. Okay.
Yeah, he went to
Oh,
Anderson High.
I mean, we got Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke's from Austin.
Yeah, we got Ethan Hawke.
We finally broke into the MCU.
Hey, there you go. We made it, baby.
Yeah, let's see. Mr. Jones says
My
Macabre
child
Brooks.
good.
Macabre Brooks. Okay. Yeah. Well, man, that's dope though. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But yeah,
mean,
so that's how I got into that, and yeah, it pays the bills, man. I really enjoy doing it. Um, it's it's a lot of fun going in the studios, working with different people. Now I will say right now, I do. How can I say this politically and not piss off my publisher? Uh,
they're not
there,
watching this.
never know, but I will say a lot of the stuff here lately, a lot of the gigs I've been getting lately are the more Instagram rappers. So it's been like a
Mhm.
lot of people that have large amounts of followings and maybe not so much musical talent, but hey,
Yeah. I
that's what
hope to I hope to be one of those one day.
that's what keeps me paid. So I can't complain too much. Um, but it's it's nice being paid to do what you love to do.
Yeah. It's funny that you said because like I opened up. I want to say was it God like maybe 8 years ago. I opened up for an Instagram. No, he had to been more than 8 because it was like he was big in Vine on Vine. I
Oh
mentioned
wow,
Vine last week. He was big on Vine, and I opened for him, and he was jumping into comedy.
yeah,
I mean, it was
horrible.
terrible. Yeah,
I can
I was
imagine.
like, man, I was like, dude, come on, man. You're used to what 30-second clips. You trying to pull 30 minutes? Like this ain't gonna work, man. But
Yeah,
I kind of felt like, man, look, do you need me to write a joke or two for you, like something? But
should have did that.
I should have just sold him my jokes. So you can have those first three. I don't need them.
Hey,
He's
you
gonna be
know,
like, but your first three were about being Mexican and I'm black. Yeah, that's change it. Just change it. Change
yeah, just flip it, flip it. But
it.
actually, a lot of comedians have gotten on that way, writing for other people, and then they make they're eventually able to transition and do their own stuff. So,
Someone actually told me, I think it was on Facebook. I was arguing with people like I always do. So one thing that I always hate when people do, and you've never done it that I know of, because I blocked you. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Rappers will get on and they'll say, to all the artists out there, and they'll address the artists. What they really mean is to all the rappers out there, and they don't want to hear from other artists. Because then
okay,
I'll chime in, I'll say something, and they're like, "Yeah, but you're not really an artist." I'm like, "Calm yourself, pump your brakes. I do photography, acting, stand-up comedy." I was like,
Right.
"What you? I do more in the arts than you do, so I'm more qualified at answering this than you are." And it always causes all kinds of arguments and stuff with some folks. Someone said comedy is easier because you have people write for you. You have a whole team writing for you. I'm like, do you
No.
see me on Netflix? Well, you can see me on Netflix on TV shows. But I'm like, do you see me on Netflix for stand up? I don't have no writers. Like that's big time where you start to get those
Right.
writers and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I was like, I go, stand up comedy is actually harder, and it's harder to get a fan base than rapping because nobody's gonna download my comedy and go jam it in the car.
Yep.
So yeah, that's all. Like,
They have to really be a fan of you and what your comedy is to do that. No, I have a huge respect for stand up comedians because, in my opinion, it is it may not be the hardest from a technical standpoint, but I think it's the hardest thing to get up and do because, like you said, you have nothing whatsoever backing you up. You know, you could be I could have like zero vocabulary and had the worst bars in the world. But if I got the money to go buy really good beats, people will come in and jam the beats, right?
yeah,
They may not
and
like anything that I'm saying, but they be like, "Man, Casino got some of the best beats though," and they'll sit there and jam and bob along. There's so many horrible rappers we can name probably off the top of our heads right now that do that. But with comedy, there's no beat
yeah,
to save you. There's no dancers shaking butt and all of that to save you. There's no there's nothing to save you. You got to get up there and
and
do it. So yeah,
it's like I was trying to like respect them. I'm like, look, man, I understand it's still difficult, but I was like, but you just came at me with like stand up's easier. I'm like, nope, I gotta prove
yeah.
that wrong. But yeah, you're right. You know, maybe I should start doing my comedy to a beat. Just like boom, boom, get a beat
That would
back.
be something. That would be something. Uh,
But
man,
but yeah, man,
too
like
funny.
that's man, like I swear it's a lot of, and it's usually the younger rappers that do that, and I'm like, stop using the word artist if you're only directing it to rappers. Like
Right.
that's the only thing. Because some
I
people
do
will say
that.
artists, like some people will say artists. I'll chime in and they'll be like, "Oh, that's right," and then they're like, "All right, inclusive. Now we'll include everybody else."
Right.
And so I'm
No,
like, "See, okay, cool, but
I make those types of posts, but I do like what you said. I make sure I direct it at who I'm talking to. Like
yeah,
mine, I usually be like rap cats and all of that stuff, and then I'll say something about whatever I'm thinking about the genre or rappers or what we do. But if I'm talking about anybody that does entertainment, then I'll be like entertainers or whatnot.
then you get
So
all the strippers on there."
hey, they're entertainers.
That's what I try to tell people because they were like, I one time said artist, and someone was like, "Oh, like strippers." I'm like, "No, no, they're entertainers. They're a category. It's not an granted. Their dancing can be an art form. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. But
Hey, pole dancing is an art, sir. It's
it
an
is. That's
art.
what I'm saying. It can be unless you go during the daytime. Then you're like, oh, there's no art in this at all.
And oh, there's nothing more depressing than being in a strip club when the sun is up.
Look, I needed directions and I got lost. No,
I'll save that for the next time I come on your
there
show
you
to
go. There you go.
talk about my antics and adventures in strip clubs. I used to
Uh,
work for this guy who ran a label, and I swear every meeting he did was in a strip club. I at one point in time, I think I've been to every strip club in Texas because this guy everywhere we went, he'd be like, "Oh, where's the strip club? We'll go eat lunch at the strip club." I'm like, "What?" Like, no, no.
Bring $5 for the steak.
2 o'clock, 2 p.m., and I'm in the strip club eating a hamburger. I was like, what's going on here? Too much. Too much.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
man.
I know one of my cousins he used to be like that. He's like, man, he goes, I just had to give him up. I was like, oh yeah. He goes, yeah. He goes, there's only so much steak you can eat. was like, oh, I guess, man. Like, I don't know. I don't even think it goes too for the steak. Like, you seem like you're like, oh, I need to go for a nice T-bone. Let me go to Rick's. Like,
You go to Rick's, give me. I'm just coming for the steak.
yeah,
I swear, I'm just coming for the steak.
ma'am, can you get those away from my table? I'm trying to
Right?
enjoy. I'm trying to
Get
enjoy my
those,
sirloin.
get, get those boobies away from my burger. Oh Lord.
Like, would you like a dance, Daddy? No, but would you pass me the A1 steak
Yeah,
sauce,
but
please?
can you hand me that steak sauce behind you?
Yeah,
Oh man. Yeah, yeah, boy, I can tell you some stories. But like
yeah.
I said, we'll save that for my next my next visit. And we can talk more about Skinamax.
There you go. Yeah. So this is a toy channel, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
Let
This is the toy channel.
me just show a toy for reference. There we go. All right.
Oh man. Man,
Oh
but
man.
nah, I appreciate you having me on, bro. It's you're always fun to talk with. I know we trade a lot of barbs and stuff on social media, so this has been cool.
Yeah, yeah, man. It was cool. Yeah, like I said, when you hit that Nerdy McFly stuff, I was like, man, I gotta get him on. I was like, he got some knowledge behind him. He can talk about all the aspects of everything he does. But I'm also the type that's like, I hate scheduling stuff. So it's like I'd rather just be like 5 minutes ahead of the show, be like, hey, you doing anything right now for the next 3
Right,
hours? But I was glad I hit you up. I'm trying to learn to do that a little bit better now. But yeah, man, appreciate you for stopping through. Let everybody know where they can find you.
okay, well, I'm extremely easy to find. Literally, you could. I'm on all the social medias at CasinoATX. That's my YouTube. That's my Instagram. That's where you can find me on Facebook. That's where you can find me. Well, the only one that's a little different is Twitter. That's Partyville Mayor. But
Yeah, that threw me off earlier when I tagged you.
yeah, but pretty much you can find me on Casino ATX. Definitely check out my show Nerdy McFly. I think if you're really into comic books and nerd culture, you'll get a kick out of that. And absolutely check out some of my music. My new single right now is Cherry Mints. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, Shazam, you name it.
Cool, man. Again, man, appreciate you taking your time. Go check out the rest of Stranger Things. Go write some stuff. Do what you
All
got to
right,
do,
buddy.
man.
Later.
All right, man. Later. All right, now that's over. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Savage Saint says, got a dip. Night, everyone. Hey, appreciate you for stopping through, Savage Saint. Let me see. Should I even go back and catch up? So all the stuff's not gonna make sense to me. Where we at? Where we at? Bat Force Grumps came through. Hey, Marcus. Um, Marcus, he says, Mr. Jones. Nah, I meant the comedian that Sonny's talking about. What? Not sure. Going back is just like I have no idea what's going on in these chats. Marcus, yeah, he's probably named after a cartoon dog too. These dogs are instant reality after the Chip and Dale movie came out. We haven't seen the Chip and Dale movie, man. I've been telling my kids we need to watch that movie. I heard it's good too. Chandler says Mr. Jones didn't know they had Instagram rappers. That's like a drastic step down from a YouTube rapper. It reminds me of Instagram models. Like, what actually are they modeling? Bikinis? What? So the whole Instagram model thing. I mean, if someone pays you to pose, go and call yourself a model. That's the way I see it. Says how do they get income? Those brands pay them per view or per like, so they pay them that way. And I only know that because I know some of the people that get paid that way. Mr. Jones says, Chalo, there's one Instagram model I talk to sometimes that's a legit model, singer, actress. She's actually on the cover of Penthouse last month. Yeah, like that. There's actually legit Instagram models out there. But with her income is from TV shows and movies she appears in, plus whatever brand deal she has. A lot of them are partners with fashion brands like Fashion Nova has everyone under their belt. If Fashion Nova was like, "Hey, Sonny, we want you to be our sponsor, or we want to sponsor you," I'd be like, "Go right ahead." Actually, my wife's cousin works for them. Ms. Jones says, I think some of the brands pay them per views, likes on their posts. That's why so many of them partner with the same brand. Yeah, that's the one. Mark Z says strip club chicken wings. Oh, here we go. Wait, let's see where we at. Mr. Jones, boobies and burgers sounds like my kind of spot as long as I got some 7 there. What? 7 Up? Some sweet tea. Mark says whole different kind of toy. Charlie says, and Mr. Jones, whoa, well that's legit then. I found it's not hard to get girls like that because most guys are either too intimidated or their desperation reeks. Mr. Jones says, well, the one I'm familiar with is actually into guys with bellies and loves anime, but you never know by looking at her. Mark Z says, Casino ATX is cool people, one of us. Whale booty. There we go. Yeah, no, he's a real cool dude. I met him years ago when I was doing photography for the local hip hop scene, and I met him that way. Got a lot of energy too when he performs. Chandler says, "Oh, it's ending already. Really enjoyed you because I've never seen you before." Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I'm pretty sure he'll be back. He's just right now, like he said, he's doing a lot of writing for people. He posted on Facebook the other day. His service is out there again, so I'm pretty sure that kind of got him some work as well. Yeah, Miss Jones is right. Sonny ain't gotta leave. I ain't gotta work. Sonny solo now. Marcus says, Sonny, you are late. Very late on this. Chowder says, for real, that dude you just had on heavily radiates positive energy. Can't help but to not smile and laugh along. Yeah, he's a real cool dude, man. I like the dude. Like I said, when he did his Nerdy McFly stuff, I think he posted like his top top fighters in Mortal Kombat, I think it was, or top fighting games or something. And I was just like, man, okay. So he's just out there with it. So we'll just roll with that. Ms. Jones says some sevens, as in 7 out of 10. Clockwork Gorge says, did you just start, Sonny? I did not. I've been on for 2 hours with my homie CasinoATX, but he had the bounce, so we're riding solo now. Astonishing News and Reviews, what's going on, man? Says at Vegas, just watched the AEW event. That's what's up, man. Dropping by to say hi. Appreciate it, man. Clockwork Gorge says, what's up to everyone? Marquis says it back. Oh, dude. Clockwork Gorge, nah, he's been live for 2 hours. A special guest just left. And Mr. Jones says, if I could talk, I'd have met up with you this morning. Yeah, Mr. Jones, he ghosted me this morning. I went over to a local eatery. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was in the Houston area, and I was gonna try to meet up with Mr. Jones. I was actually gonna try to meet up with Screw Toys too. I was like, have a little. I was gonna call it a threesome, but that sounds wrong. Have the three of us and do a surprise live stream. But Mr. Jones had some surgery, so he couldn't make it. But he couldn't speak, I should say. But yeah, it would have been cool. But hey, there's always the next time, man. I did buy season passes to the museum, so I will be back to Houston area. Clockwork Gorge, nice to have made it. Yeah, you're just in time. What were we talking about? I actually ran out of drink that whole time I was talking. For those wondering, that's what was in my cup. It's actually really smooth. Y'all haven't tried the black one, the Crown Royal Black. It was amazing. Mark Stevens, Texas threesome. Yeehaw. There you go. That's what it would have been titled too, man. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen somehow. It'll be the Sonny Channel presents the Texas threesome. Yeehaw. Oh man, is my computer trying? Okay. Sorry, I thought my computer was trying to update. Clockwork Gorgeous says the Jordan Green Goblin from Mezco. That is a spectacular looking figure. The amount of head sculpts that it comes with was coming like 4, I think, 4 or 5. It's a pretty dope figure. Um, yeah, that's gonna be a cool one. It's gonna go nicely, of course, with the classic Spider-Man that they already have shown, and kind of wonder what other classics they're gonna bring out because it is pretty dope. That one was a dope one. Mr. Jones says I used to have a few of those Crown Royal bags. I don't drink, but people would always give me the purple bags. Yeah, my kid has the green one. That's what he keeps his toys in. Um, I don't know. I like this black one. I might have to keep my toys in this one. Just be out somewhere and be like, take out my Crown Royal bag. and be like, "Oh, what's up, guys? Just gonna play toys real quick." Now, yeah, but I brought this to my area because I was like, I might keep that bag. Although I did give my kid the new Sonic toys, so he had those in the green bag this past weekend. But he might take this black bag from me. We have a couple of purple bags around here too. Obi-Wan Chigona says contemplating that new Rhino for the open hands. That new Rhino was dope, man. Um, Apparently BBTS put it back up for sale. If you didn't catch it the first time around, they did reopen that. Gabby has a little ghost and a little frog. Gabby has a little ghost. I was like, who's Gabby? Gabby has a little ghost and a little frog. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Man, his successors are dope. They're doing Doc Ock, I think. Yeah, from that promo photo. That'll be cool too. That'd be cool if it matches exactly with the Spider-Man and Green Goblin. That would be a cool Doc Ock to have. Would you think they would throw metal in it like the way they did for the Doctor Doom though? That's another question right there. Ms. Jones says Mark yeah thinks that's a ghost bomb and a frog bomb. Is it a bomb? I thought it was actually just a little frog. Mark Z says it's still adorable to think he's eating a ghost or a frog. Norman's a man of violence. Yeah, that's true. Now that is a cool figure though. Yeah, but most of the stuff from Mezco got pushed back, so I don't even know when that would drop. Marksy says, I bet the tentacles will be metal and fully bendable. I think they have to go bendable at this point since Hasbro is bringing out that other Doc Ock with the Silk 2-pack, and those are not bendable. But the Lizard Tail is bendable. If y'all saw the Unparalleled Universe review, that one does look cool too. I don't like that people were making fun of the comic book face on that. Like when the pictures first dropped, I was like, man, y'all have zero imagination if y'all can't think of some things to do with that face. But yeah, I mean that's what I live for. I live for those. I wouldn't say awkward faces, different faces. I live for those different faces. Mr. Jones says waiting for Mezco to do a Nubia from Wonder Woman comics. That'll be my first Mezco if they do. Man, Mezco puts out some dope figures, man. I gotta say, I do like them a whole lot. Marcy says Mezco Doc Op with lab coat maybe or a trench coat. Ooh, which would y'all prefer, lab coat or lab coat and trench coat? I can actually see them doing that. Putting them on a lab coat, like in the old school, and then releasing an accessory pack with more stuff for them. That would be cool. Canceled my fakes black suit Spider-Man pre-order today. Man, what'd you cancel? Why'd you cancel it? Now I need to know. Yeah, Mr. Jones, that's what I agree. It'll probably be a lab coat to keep it classic. I think so. But Mezco does drop those accessory packs. So I can see them doing an accessory pack with a trench coat, a different head, um, maybe if the claws on the arms are removable, maybe different claws, or a full Spider-Man accessory pack. That would be cool. Mark C says, I remember the earlier outfits being a purple jumpsuit. You think they'll do that soon or keep it basic green and yellow? Probably green and yellow, only because that's probably what more people. I don't know if I remember the purple. You said that, and I'm like, man, I think it was Doc purple suit. There we go. Uh, purple suit. Why do I think I remember that? Childish says the classic lizard head looks like it's from The Simpsons. I like that head sculpt. The other head isn't good. I like both of them, man. The Toy Biz head sculpt looks a lot better. Don't know if it's worth paying eBay pricing to replace my select one. You know, the BAF one is cool too. Everybody's like, oh, it's better. Like they're to me they're two different figures. But the BAF does look cool. Oh, Mr. Jones says the claws might have lights. That would be dope. Mark C says cancel that Mafex symbiote Spider-Man because it was comfortable with the retro one. I want to save money for Mafex ending suit No Way Home Spider-Man. I'll stand by the statement as long as I live until they make one. Yeah, that would be cool, man. I hope they do. I like that suit a lot. Uh, do you think the museum should have had Moon Knight coloring sheets? I think so, and I was so disappointed. I took the hood. I took Krillin. I took what's that thing? I took a few other figures to Houston. My Moon Knight is sitting right there, and I didn't take them. I was when I realized my error, I was already in Houston, about to walk into the museum, and my wife was all like, "Do you have any little monitos that are Egyptian or like pharaohs or pyramids?" And I said no, and then I immediately turned around. I was like, "Moon Knight! I should have brought Moon Knight." Even my kid was all like, "Oh yeah, that would have been cool." I'm like, dang it, man, come on. Mark P says, "Have you watched Obi-Wan Kenobi? There's one minor character I like." I have not seen Obi-Wan Kenobi yet. I do know that Paul is in it, which is cool. Hopefully, they will make an action figure of him finally as his Carson Teva character. So that would be cool. That would be cool if they make a Paul figure. And I also saw that Kumail Nanjiani, I think I said his name right, is also in it, which is cool. That would be cool too. Mark C says he is. Yeah, he is. Let's see, I posted it on Twitter. I saw a real quick glimpse. Wait, is it Obi-Wan? Dang it, now I'm all confused. I think it's Obi-Wan. Yeah, there he is right there. If it can focus. But yeah, when they leaked the footage, I saw that on there. Then I saw on his Twitter page that it was confirmed. Let's see. Bitter Asian dude. Here, I gotta find it now. I know he mentioned it. Oh, it was season 3 Mandalorian. That's what it was. Mandalorian season 3. That's where we're gonna see him again. Not Obi-Wan Kenobi. My bad. My bad. Mark C says when you talk, it sounds like you're garbling underwater. Ugh. StreamYard. How dare you? But yeah, Paul is in Mandalorian season 3, not Obi-Wan. That's on me. I got them confused. Chalice says you get the animated Wolverine Jubilee. I got mine from Hasbro. Absolutely the coolest Wolverine out there besides the Mafex ones. Uh, yeah, Jubilee was not gonna be anything I wanted. Um, I don't know. I didn't really like the character Jubilee in the cartoon, so I've never really desired to get Jubilee. So yeah, it's gonna be a pass on that one. Uh, but yeah, I mean that Wolverine does look dope though. I like the head sculpt on that one. Clockwork Orange says you can use that Kumail head on from Legends for a kit bash. That's true. That is a pretty decent sculpt of him. He even had it as his Twitter profile for a while, I believe. But yeah, I seen him do stand up, and I was like, man, this dude's cool. He's real funny. Plus, he was in Silicon Valley from Mike Judge. So it's kind of like me and him are part of the same shared universe. I assume Idiocracy was part of that. Mr. Jones says, yeah, nah, that's that Texas Warbles. We all got that. That's true. That's true. I have been up in Washington State, and as soon as I open my mouth, they're like, you're from Texas, aren't you? It's like, no. Yeah, I am. Clockwork Orgy agrees. Jubilee was a bit annoying. What? Mr. Jones says he always loved Jubilee. I don't know, man. It was just like too much. She played that little teenage bit little too much for me. And she shot fireworks out of her fingers. Yeah, I don't know. Jubilee was not it for me. Um, I don't know why. Never did. But then even like I saw someone selling a Jubilee figure for a decent price a while back, and I passed on it still. It's like I don't know. She would go good with the rest of the X-Men, but I don't know. Her character was just annoying to me. Clockwork Gorge. The Pakistanani Denzel. Yeah, he's a good actor too. I do like him when he's acting stuff. I was severely disappointed when he wussed out though. That was my one complaint that I had with him. But yeah, I think he's gonna be in Obi-Wan. So I do want to check that out, even though I'm not the hugest of Star Wars fans because the TV shows have been doing it for me. Mr. Jones says, man, if a chick shot fireworks out of her fingers while she was getting down, that would make me feel accomplished. Okay, that's true. That's true. It's a Silicon Valley reference. Oh, okay. I was like, I know. I was like, it sounded familiar, but yeah. Uh, yeah, man. I hope the best success for him. He's a funny dude too when he does stand up. Obi-Wan Chigona says, I cancel my Wolverine VHS. I'll wait for a Capcom. Ooh, Capcom Wolverine would be dope. Mr. Joe says, congrats. I guess if she shot fireworks out of her fingertips, that'd be better than a thank you card. So you got a point there. Which, if y'all haven't received thank you cards, y'all are doing something wrong. Obi-Wan Chigona said cancel VHS Wolverine VHS. Like, I kind of feel like I should get all of them, put them on the shelf right here, make it look like VHS tapes, and then put a VCR right here on top. That would look kind of cool. Plus, you can open them and still display the boxes in front on people. Like, yeah, I bought 2 of them. Don't touch my boxes. But I don't know. The Mr. Sinister, I wasn't a huge fan of how they did the cell shading on that one. I thought the regular Mr. Sinister was like pretty much they knocked it out of the park with the Wendigo wave. I thought that was very good for Mr. Sinister. Uh, Storm, her hair is a bit big. It's like the cartoon, but it's a bit big. Morph, definitely gonna pick up Morph. See, Mr. Jones says never got a thank you card, but a bunch of poems text the next day. Oh, that's cool. All day. That one was clingy. Oh man. Martin Starr's funny with Kumail. He was pretty funny in Spider-Man 2. Dude, he was the scene with him, JB Smoove, and Hannibal Buress in No Way Home. That was probably my favorite scene in that movie. Just them like all over Spider-Man, like, oh, you're a hero, and then Hannibal Buress was like, stop lying, don't say it. Like the way they played off each other, that was hilarious, man. Mr. Jones says they keep mentioning classic games. I'm half expecting them to do an homage wave or some sort of special box set. You know, actually, when they put Mojo out, That's kind of what that reminded me of. Was that old was the Sega Genesis X-Men game that had Mojo? So that would be cool too, man. I'd like for them to do that video game style. Oh man, can you imagine if they did video game style like a pixelated style? Have pixelated Gambit, pixelated Nightcrawler, pixelated X Wolverine. Mark C says Hannibal Buress' video on pickle juice stays in my mind. Oh, I need to watch that. You know, did I say that one? I think I mentioned it one time that Hannibal Buress ended like he walked into a comedy show here in Austin. A comedy show that I told the guy, nah, I don't feel like doing the show. And he walked into that show. No, it wasn't the exact night, but it was I was performing at that same place a few days later. Well, I was supposed to, but it didn't work. I didn't end up going. Sonny talking like his speech is pixelated. It's still bad. Dang it. I guess it's bad. StreamYard's like having issues. Put a little button right there. X-Men Arcade Konami game special box set. They already have all the modes for those versions. And then watch that. Then how we get the blob. Yeah, people keep putting on Facebook. They're like someone. I think it was Mike D, who's sometimes joins or watches the next day. I think he posted his blob for sale, and someone was all like, "Oh, they're just gonna re-release it." I'm like, I don't know where you're getting these hints from that they're gonna re-release blob, but maybe. Who knows? Clockwork Gorgeous says, "I love Metal Gear. Seeing your raid and art was pretty dope. Hope to see a Metal Gear Rising version too." Oh, Mr. Jones, they got some fans here. Man, Metal Gear Solid. The first one was a dope game. I like that game. Then I bought it on GameCube, the Metal Gear Twin Snakes, and I could not beat Metal Gear Solid anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's age or what happened, but I could not beat it again. And that's when I was like, I think it's time for me to give up on video games. I'm not good at them anymore. And then Twitch came out, and I was like, I totally got to get good at video games again. And then I was on Twitch and only had one follower, and I was like, I am bad at video games. Mark G says, I bet we can get some sets like a first appearance Brotherhood of Evil Mutants with Toad and Mastermind and a 3-pack of Pyro, Avalanche, and Blob. Oh, okay. That makes sense. And Dwight said we're getting a thick boy. I think that's why people are expecting Blob. What if it's Juggernaut? What if we get another Juggernaut? Mark G says, yeah, that's at Marcus G. Yeah, that's more than likely how we'll get some of those. So if it's a thick boy, could be Juggernaut, could be the Blob, could be yeah, it's probably those two. One of those two. Mark C says, MS Jones, what if he was referring to Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Are you talking about was it Nate? No, not Nate. Ned. Sorry, Ned. Nate. I don't know where I got Nate from. But he's talking about Ned as being the thick boy that they were referring to. That'd be messed up, man. I don't think Dwight would have said it that way. I don't know Dwight personally, so he might have, but I don't think he said it that way. I would have been messed up though if he was like, "Oh, we're getting a thick boy." They're like, "Ta-da, Ned 2-pack, Peter Parker and Ned 2-pack." Mr. Jones says, "And Marcus Z, yet Tom ain't thick." No, I meant what I said. Tom Holland, yes, he is. Oh, wait. There's that meme. Where's I put my phone at? There it is. There's a meme with him and Captain Marvel. I know what he's talking about. It's sad. I know what he's talking about. All right, let's see. Where's that meme? And Mark Z is he's correct. Oh man. There you go. Model sponsoring yoga leggings. Random girl with the yoga leggings on in the street. Oh man. Let's see. Dwight don't want to see Filipinos with their pitchforks. Oh yeah. Calling Ned thick. I saw that. Miss Jones, I know the meme. Yeah, that's it could be. It could be. Mark C brings up a valid point. It very well could be Tom Holland. Although if if Dwight was referring to Ned, I'd be like, that's he's got to win Employee of the Year for that one. Mr. Jones says that Clockwork Orgy, man, considering how much I hate drawing robots and mechanical stuff, I don't know when and if I'll ever get to Metal Gear Rising Raiden. Mm-mm-mm. He's a start on it tonight, he said. Mark C says Tom Holland being quoted thick boy is a statement I will live for as long as I live. Oh man. Oh. Dude, is he thicker than Zendaya? Zendaya is that her name? That how you pronounce her name? Zendaya, Zendaya. I hear it pronounced both ways. But if so, she should never stand next to him. Oh man. Thick boy Tom. That has to be the thickest Spider-Man. Mario says, I think so. With all these new releases, what are you most excited about, Sonny? Mr. Jones is most excited about Zendaya. New releases. What am I most excited about? Uh, she's talking about stuff that was recently announced. Let me think. Oh man. So we had Green Goblin, Morph. I'm excited about Morph. Um, Green Goblin, Morph. We have what else has been announced recently? McFarlane keeps announcing things that I lose sight of what he's announcing. The Spider-Man. All the Spider-Man coming out. That new Spider-Man, the 2-pack, that one looks cool. I do want Ned. And let's see. Oh, the Null and Venom that Jay Hernandez did a review for. Oh man, they look sweeter even when he had them in his hand doing them. So that was cool. But yeah, what am I most excited for? Probably that Null Venom 2-pack. I've always liked Venom, so it'd be cool to have another Venom on the shelf. Can we get Danny Trejo as Mole Man? Oh yeah, in a new Fantastic Four, so I can have a Danny Trejo legend. I wanted Danny Trejo somehow. If it's Black Series, do Black Series. You wanted Legends, that'd be cool too. He's one of my favorite characters in Flash when he played Breacher. Mark C says he ordered the SHF Naruto. Man, me and Jay Spiggs were talking about that Naruto figure earlier. Because I saw it at Target the other day, and he said that the second version is coming out soon. Send me a picture of it. It looks better. So that is gonna be a cool figure when it finally comes out. Chandler says, when the Johnny Depp defamation trial is supposed to end, I think the judge said Wednesday. It's mind-boggling with the one-sided hypocrisy of relationship abuse. It's supposed to be Tuesday is when they're supposed to reach their verdict for that because they didn't reach it on Friday, so they took a recess over the long weekend. They're supposed to reach it on Tuesday. Marcy says, and Mr. Jones drops the breacher. Oh, yes, Clockwork Orgy hit right on the head. Mezco Machete would be dope. It would be because, you know, no, I'm thinking I've got his character mixed up with um, the mariachi. No, the mariachi. It was Once Upon a Time in Mexico with Johnny Depp. Uh, oh, was it the no, it was not the mariachi. The one with Antonio Banderas. Why can I? Desperado. Is it Desperado? Where he had all the knives on him? I think he actually played the same character in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I need to go watch those movies again. I haven't seen them a bit. But yeah, he would be cool. That would be you know what? I wish Mezco would do a Boondock Saints 2-pack. I think that would be dope. They have to include rope. Marcy says, yeah, I pre the second one. It should ship sometime this summer. Yeah, it looks cool, man. SHF, they kill it with certain things. I used to say they sucked because the ones that I had were terrible. Um, but lately they've been doing pretty good stuff. And the stuff they got coming out looks nice too. There you go. And maybe the three mariachis from Desperado. They're in both. Yeah, that's what it was. He put it in both. Marcy said, I missed the Machete and Expendables movies. I like those movies because they were just dumb. Like, I mean, they weren't dumb. They knew they weren't going to be like Oscar nominees or anything, so they made them fun, not dumb. They made them fun. No, not Despacito. Once Upon a Time in Mexico had Enrique Iglesias as one of them. Yeah, that was a good movie right there. I like that movie. Um, where Johnny Depp was just there to balance things, like what he's doing with the Amber Heard trial. He's just there to balance some stuff. Mark G says Bullet Train is among those dumb, fun action movies. Pretty hyped. I haven't seen that one yet. I need to see that. Dang it, man. So much stuff I need to see. Still need to see Doctor Strange. I know I haven't seen it yet. I need to see Doctor Strange. I need to see Bullet Train. I need to start watching Stranger Things. Gonna go and check out Obi-Wan just to see what it's like, see what it's about. Um, what else do I need to see? Boys. I need to watch Boys. I thought Bullet Train was out. Maybe it was bootleg that everybody's been watching it on. Oh man, it has Bad Bunny. Ugh. Actually, I don't know if he's a good actor or not. Oh, August 5th. I don't know why I thought some people said it was already out. Why am I thinking Bullet Train was already out already? I don't know why. Clockwork Orange says back when Iglesias had a spatial mode. Did he cut it? Did he take it off? Was it cancerous? I always trip out that they're like, oh, it's a mole. Oh, but it also could be cancerous. Oh, my bad. I searched his dad, Julio Iglesias. Enrique Iglesias. Oh, he did cut his mole off. What? Yeah, he cut his mole off. I don't know that I trust him anymore. How can you have the same feeling and emotion in your song? Marcus G says, "Do you mean Gabriel Iglesias?" No, Gabriel Iglesias is the thick boy of the Iglesias families, of the Iglesias name. Jones says, why are the only closed captions on this Despacito video in Japanese and Spanish? They're probably watching a bootleg. Clockwork Gorgeous says, Enrique had his mole removed. Dang. That's what he was popular for. That's like if Owen Wilson fixed his nose. Sorry, this Krillin figure keeps losing his kneecap. There we go. Sammy Sosa, the new Casper the Friendly Ghost. Man, Sammy Sosa, dude, he looks like a caricature of Sammy Sosa, and they ran out of colored uh, ink for him. Like when I saw him, let's see, Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa looks like he is trying to become Paul Rodriguez. Like, it looks like he's trying to do all the surgery to become Paul Rodriguez. Oh, Mr. Jones says not the official video on Vivo on YouTube. I don't know. That is kind of odd. Mark C says, lose your kneecaps like you're hit from the mob. Yeah, something, man. His kneecap falls out. Down right there. Like if I bend his leg all the way, look, falls out. But it's only this kneecap. It's not this one. So this is making me say that SH figure arts are trash again. Clockwork Orange says if Owen fixes his nose, he'll be eligible for witness protection. Mr. Joseph Sammy Sosa, the new Michael Jackson. Yeah, he looks like a fake, like he looks like a bad wax statue of himself. What is it? Yeah, he looks weird. I think he tried to say he didn't bleach his skin, but I think it came out that he did. Charlotte says I just recently heard something about Sammy Sosa having the same condition as Michael Jackson had, so it's an intentional thing. Yeah, no, it's I mean it looks intentional. Marcus says sports. Yeah, we're doing the sports edition right now. No, yeah, no. If you know who Sammy Sosa is and you see him, you don't know. Paul Rodriguez. I like Paul Rodriguez, man. He seems like the type of person that just tells a straight truth. He doesn't care if how it's gonna affect him. He just sounds like he just feels to me like the person that does it. So if he says Will Smith was a douche when they filmed Ali, I believe it. But Will Smith also smacked Chris Rock in front of all of the world, so it makes it easier to believe now. I think they're gonna get a divorce, and Will Smith is I don't know if he might be done. He's probably done with big blockbuster movies, unless Amber Heard takes all of the attention away from him. I think that's the only way he'll have a comeback. Mr. Jones said, Chandler Vitiligo. Yeah, that runs in my family. So I know that that's a thing, but it's like Sammy Sosa. It was almost too drastic for it to be a medical condition. Chandler says, Mr. Jones again. LOL, that's what popped in my head, but somehow I thought I get it wrong. And Mark says, Paul's Paul's divorcing Will. Yes, they're no longer going to. They're no longer gonna be married. They won't be married anymore. Mr. Jones says, my mom, rest in peace. Yes. Started showing later in life. My grandma and all her sisters were pretty bright. The older they got as well. I have a small patch that started on my elbow. But is it like does it turn your hair color too? I thought it turned your hair color. No, like a whitish color. But yeah, I don't think he has it. Childish says, Mr. Jones, what side of the family does that run in? He says it runs on his mom's side. I think Sammy intentionally did it because he didn't want to be brown anymore, which is really bizarre to me that you would do that to yourself. Uh, Especially if you're a public figure, everybody knows what you look like. Why you would what is this? So I'm up and clicking stories. I'm like, I gotta read this story when I get off. Clockwork Gorge says, I think Depp will return as Jack after the Margot Robbie Pirates will bomb. I don't know. I think that Margot Robbie Pirates of the Caribbean will bomb and kill the franchise. Like if they want Johnny Depp back in it, you'll have to wait a while, reboot the series, and give him a cameo as Captain Jack Sparrow. I don't think because you gotta think about it. By the time they finish making that movie, the Johnny Depp novelty of being in the trial may have wore off by that time. So I don't think it will bank as hard. But I do think that the Margot Robbie one will kill the franchise. She does good as Harley Quinn, but I don't think it's gonna work because the fact that they took Johnny Depp off. I think it's too little too late at this point. Mr. Jones says she was always light skinned but started getting lighter on the back of her neck first. Chandler says at Clockwork Orange, I believe I heard Johnny say he'll never work for Disney again, but considering he dresses up as Jack for sick kids, he'll probably change his mind. Yeah, he said he would not play Captain Jack, or he said he would not be in another Pirates of the Caribbean film for $300 million and 100 million alpaca. So they'd have to offer him $301 million and 101 million alpaca for him to take it. And Mark C says, didn't know Margot Robbie was in Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, they're banking off of her popularity from Suicide Squad. It's Harley Quinn. Because nobody was all like, oh man, you see Margot Robbie? Well, I take it back. Some people were like, oh man, you see Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street? But they're not doing it because of the actress. Or because of her acting, I should say. And Miss Jones says Margot's too busy playing the Barbie movie. She ain't got time to be a pirate. That's right, she's in a Barbie movie, which is probably gonna fail. Because Todd McFarlane said girls don't buy toys. Or something like that. I can't remember the quote. Clockwork Gorgeous says, yeah, but if you pay Johnny though, you never know. I think that they would have to give Johnny Depp one of those Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man type deals where he makes a lot on the back end for him to go through and play Captain Jack Sparrow again. Clockwork Gorgeous says, where is it? Where is what? Mr. Jones says, Tiny Mac needs to shut up because my daughter's playing with my Marvel Legends. Yeah, it was, I mean, it was cool to get his perspective, and I think that he should have presented more of like, it was his opinion. Obviously, he wasn't going to share his sales data or anything like that, but I think he should have played it up more that was his opinion versus him being like, statistically, no little boy wants to play with a little girl toy. Because like my kid, he sees the Avengers movies and all that, and so he's like, oh, well, we need that character still. So it makes sense that way. Although for Shang-Chi, his favorite character was Morris. I don't know. I don't know if he's the right market. Mr. Jones says this is the first time he's made comments about women in toys comics. I didn't think it was. It rolled off the tongue too easily. So Mark Z says I zoned out. Oh, we were talking about Margot Robbie in the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie the whole time. Morris, exactly. Charles says, Mr. Jones, I hope you had a lot of time with your mom before she passed. I don't have that condition, but I have psoriasis, patches all over me that just get bigger. It can't be in direct sunlight. Oh man, that's unfortunate, dude. I've known some people that have had that as well. It is unfortunate because it does limit you. It kind of sucks. But man, 14 people still here. Shout out to y'all, 14 people still here. Has anybody got Memorial Day plans tomorrow or in a few hours, I should say? Thankfully, I'm not messing with trees unless I am burning wood. I was gonna actually do the live stream tonight. I was gonna do it outside as well, but for some odd reason, we got an insane amount of wind when I came back into town this morning or this afternoon. I was out in Houston learning about King Ramses. Actually, if y'all have a chance to make it out, if y'all live near Texas or whatever, or in Texas, check out that Ramses exhibit at the National Science National Science Museum of Houston. Mark C says, I also forgot about Memorial Day. I've lost all sense of time. Must have been working hard making those action figures. Lost sense of time. Mr. Jones, if I could eat, I'd be barbecuing tomorrow, but alas, there's a hole in my gums and half a root canal on the other side. Dang it, man. That sucks, dude. Not just because you can't have barbecue, but I'm assuming that's very uncomfortable to live with right now. And we didn't get to meet up. We'll meet up sometime, man. We'll be able to get it done. I'll check with your dentist before I try to plan with you, though. Don't worry about it. Oh man. Oh, okay. Mark, he says he's just lazy. Okay. I need to be lazy. I need to be lazy tomorrow. I think probably gonna fire up the barbecue pit, grill some stuff, chicken. So yeah, should be fun. Be hot tomorrow. See what is temperature. All right, let's see. Sorry, I still got Tom Holland's thickness on my phone. Tomorrow here in Austin, Texas, high is 94 degrees. So it won't be too uncomfortable out there. It'll be all right. Mr. Jones says at Shiloh, I did. She died the day after she turned 59 of a sudden brain aneurysm. Oh man, yeah, those aneurysms are tough, dude. One of my uncles had an aneurysm. He survived, but they didn't give him very much time. But he's still here with us. I want to say 20 years later. But yeah, the brain aneurysm. I mean, it's pretty. Yeah, that's very unfortunate, man. Sorry that happened to her. Yeah, may she rest in peace, man. Clark Gorgeous says, Toddy seems like your weird, successful uncle with unpopular opinions. That's actually a really good way to describe him. Uh, Toddy Mac seems like he's like, man, like he seems like he'd be shocked to see women at voting polls. Like, are you here to pick up your husband? I'm confused what you're doing here. Mark C says, process is slow. I want to cast, but weather is also important. Tomorrow will be too hot. Or today again. Oh man. Hey, 2020 messed with everyone, man. Um, I mean, literally, like if you stayed in your job, if you got hired at your job right before the pandemic and you're still there, you've already put in over 2 years in that job. So yeah, it's the pandemic really screwed up a lot of timing and stuff. Marcus, he says you're welcome. If Dan Unit's in here, Dan, are you in here? Can you confirm whether or not the Tom Holland action figure with the Ned and Peter 2-pack has the full thickness? Inquiring minds want to know, and Marcus E does as well. Mr. Jones says, I think Toddy said something along the lines of women shouldn't draw, read, write. What? Comics, because that's for men only at one point. God, yeah, that dude, man. It's weird because there's so many women working in the industry like my wife. Yeah, that's true. Hey, go brag on your wife again. Which remind everyone which book she drew for. Because that is cool, man. That is cool that she's able to do that, to get that sort of opportunity to do things like that. I have a cousin who he draws good. I think he has inked a graphic novel for someone, but I don't know what it was called. I don't know what it's called because when it came out, I was dirt poor. I couldn't afford to go purchase it, so I had to pretend like I didn't see his post. You ever do that? I've done that before. Uh, like a friend of mine will put like, "Oh, hey, selling plate sales for my cousin who got arrested," and I'm like, "I don't have no money," so I got to pretend like I didn't see the post. Then I mess around, like, "How's your plate sale?" Clockwork Gorgeous says he forgot the Image Comics published granddaughter is female. See, all right. I saw that saga at the comic book store. I know Wade was talking about it all the time. I don't know anything about it, but I did not pick it up. She's drawn part of the Harley Quinn TV series tie-in comic that's coming out. Issue 1, but only part of it. They want her on as a regular after seeing her first few pages. That's what's up, man. On there. Oh, I hope she gets on there if that's what she wants. Mark C says, I've been meaning to check out Firepower from Image Skybound, only because I realized the story I'm writing is very similar unintentionally. Dude, don't you hate when that happens? As a creative, you start creating something just to find out someone else has already done it. Yeah. I know the feeling, man. I don't know if I mentioned it here, but I was working on a joke about a step ladder. Yeah, I know. And then I saw an Ellen DeGeneres special, like it was a newer special that she had, and she literally took my punchline. I had the punchline ready. I didn't have the setup perfected where I wanted it. She had her perfect setup, and she took my punchline like almost word for word, killed the joke. So I deleted the joke out of my phone. Oh, Mr. Jones says, but time and other books wouldn't allow it. Oh, that'd have been cool though. I mean, however she has to make sure that she's successful with her time and stuff. But that's cool that she still has other stuff to work with. Clockwork Orange says it's a good read, Sonny. I might check it out. Marcy says, yes, it's discouraging. I can't help it if I'm not fast enough productive. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's happening, dude. I want you to know you're not alone, Marcus. You're not alone. I've had it happen. Ms. Joe says, yeah, I used to have a rapping dog character I created and drew all the time in high school. Then Parappa the Rapper came out, so I stopped drawing him. Man, kick, punch, chop, kick, chop, 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 kick, punch. Parappa the Rapper was dope, man. Mark C says, you got beef with Ellen, but her and Dog are better. Who Dog aren't cahoots. No, I got beef with her. She actually took the joke, like I said, almost word for word, same punchline. Um, her setup was better than what I was working on, so I was glad to be like, all right, I'll let that one slide. Mark G says, thank you for the positive affirmation, Sonny, aka local sex icon, aka Mr. Late. Mr. Jones says that Mark C. Dewdog will be on Ellen next month. Dang it, they're conspiring against me. They're co-conspirators. I learned that from DMW All Things Marvel. uh, dang, Dewdog. Oh, Sunday number 2, man. Wow. Oh, we only got 4 minutes. 4 minutes on here. I should have did Sunday number 2 while I had Casino on, just to confuse him even more. Actually, I jumped on with Casino about 10 minutes before we started, just to be like, hey man, we talk about whatever comes up, dude. He's like, all right, that's cool, man. So he was a cool guest though, man. I'm glad he was able to do the show with me. Um, it's funny because a lot of local rappers I was like, Sonny, we gotta get you on one of our skits for our album. He's never said it, but I'm glad that I was able to finally tie myself into the Austin hip hop community on something other than doing photography for them. So it was dope. Fractured English, what's going on, man? It says Sonny, we need a new Gomez. Man, when the 112 day was here and I won Atticus Doom, the hint was it's gonna be something out of this world. And several people thought they meant we were getting an astronaut Gomez. That would have been dope. To have an astronaut Gomez. Mark G says, I hope Sunday number 2 is all good. Even though his head is small and he could barely sit tall enough to be in the camera. Yeah, I think he's doing okay. He's managing to do okay. I should just be like, since we all discussed that Moon Knight's the best MCU TV show, do the dual Sonnies with one being the cool, calm, collected, the other being the neurotic one that works at a museum gift shop. Which, by the way, museum gift shop, it was okay. They had 2 gift shops. They had one for the Ramses exhibit because it's traveling. That was cool because it was all like Ramses based. The other gift shop was like they bought a bunch of stuff off of the Oriental Trading Company and sold it to you. Although my kid, he did get a shark tooth necklace. Apparently that was what he'd been wanting for a while. So he went ahead and did that. Got a shark tooth necklace. Marcy says full custom is the J. To you. Yes, that's the wild card right there. Man, so I posted the picture of that Wolverine with the foil claws on the Facebook group that I'm constantly getting stuff deleted on. I screenshotted it to catch the time, and I was like, when they delete it, I can be like, okay, look, check it out, Instagram. They took this much time, but it has like over 300 reactions to it at this point, so I don't think it's getting taken down anytime soon. Let's see what we're at right now on that. Yeah, like I feel really cool because th- my posts are getting a pretty good amount of reactions on Facebook. So that got like over 300. There we go, 302. 302 view or reactions on this one right here. You got a good amount on Instagram, and then on Facebook, I got 200 likes or reactions because I got a check for 2 cents from Disney. So Disney felt so inclined to be like, hey man, we went ahead and showed that show American Crime. Here's your money. It is literally a check for 2 cents. Let's see, let me cover up all the numbers and stuff. So as you can see, American crime, when they say crime doesn't pay, they're for real. Internet rental, 70 cents off of that. 9 cents off electronic sales, 3 cents through pay TV, 74 cents through internet rental, video on demand, after taxes, a whopping 2 cents. So, shout out to Disney for giving me that 2 cents. I mentioned to Casino before we hopped on. I asked him if he saw my 2-cent check. He said, "Yeah, I saw that." I told him I'm thinking about letting it go stale and then contacting SAG and being like, "Hey, I don't know what happened to that check," just to see if they send me another 2-cent check. Marcus, you said slipped on your words there. Yeah, I was gonna say my kid did. I said my kid did, but I said my did. I know it sounded like something else. Clark Gordon says you'll finally enter ACBA. Yes. Get accepted finally. Oh, ABCA. Articulated book comic art, not ACBA. Yeah, that would be something, man. But all right, man, we hit our 3-hour mark. Shout out to everybody who stopped by. Shout out to Casino for stopping through. Um, everybody have a great rest of your night. Wait, let's name off some people. Clockwork Gorge, we had him here. Marcus E, Mr. Jones, Fractured English at the last minute here. Lucky Butter was at the top of the hour. Bat Force Grumps came through. Jace Figs was here. Scarlet Kid 1 popped in. Who else? Who else? Chris Jordan popped in. I saw a comment that he made. I didn't get to read to it, but Nasser popped through. Gonna check out the live stream, or not the live stream, but the rerun tomorrow. Hope you enjoy it, man. Who else was here? Chalor, shout out to Chalor as well. But yeah, as always, I appreciate everyone. Trying to get the Jigsaw review out soon. Hopefully, I do get it out soon. It's already filmed and everything. Oh, Jens was here lurking. Shout out to Jens as well. Astonishing reviews. They were here. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for being here. Shout out to everybody, all the 19 of y'all still here. Um, yeah, but I will hopefully, like I said, hopefully get that video out to y'all soon. Thank y'all again, and we'll see y'all next time. Oh, Joe figured it out. Shout out to Joe figured it out. So making that Mickey Mouse money, baby. That's exactly right. Also, check out Joe figured it out Instagram. He removed the Jigsaw vest I mentioned in the video. People removing the vest, so check that out on his Instagram. But y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next time.